Are you serious? Are you serious? We're starting live. Oh, that's right. We're starting about 10 minutes early. We've got two guests tonight. We got Stan Deyo and Mike from around the world. And this is a night like none other. So buckle up, get ready. Something biblical is going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. There is no question about it. Let me first put a shout out right now for www.pastorpaulgold.com. That's www.pastorpaulgold.com. Dark clouds are gathering as markets are shuddering. Stocks are sinking. Currencies are stumbling. Fear and uncertainty reigns. In the Middle East, we have a war. Israel, Hamas. Ukraine is still being bombed and attacked under Russia. China threatening Taiwan. And Iran literally lays out there waiting. It's endless, really. Yet one asset has stood the test of time, a biblical currency. It is gold. In crisis after crisis, gold has stood the test of time. It's in the background. Its enduring value guards against loss, like a missile shield against the incoming. And while fiat wealth, paper money, well, it burns, gold persists. Shield your savings against the looming threats, the war, the recession, the contagion. Avoid the frenzy panic of an unprepared populace. Take control in the chaos. Fortune favors decisive action, so get a hold of gold right now before it's out of reach. Right now, get a hold of noblegoldinvestment.com. Just simply go to the link they want you to go. Right there, I have down there in the description, www.pastorpaulgold.com. That's www.pastorpaulgold.com. And they're giving away this offer, this 5 ounces of pure silver, America the Beautiful coin, with every new IRA account that's set up. Claim your free coin today. Secure your financial future and protect yourself as this new storm gathers, as the panic looms, as some of the places you were thinking of for your money may not be secure. Gold. That's what you want to do. Go to www.pastorpaulgold.com. or pick up the phone and call them right now at 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. And tell them that Pastor Paul Begley sent you there. All right? Wow. Stan Deyo, Mike from around the world tonight. We're starting a little early. There's so much to talk about tonight. We're going to ask Mike some questions. The big one right now, the big issue we have is this gamma ray, this explosion. It's the brightest gamma ray explosion of all time. It has scrambled the Earth's upper atmosphere, and scientists, and I think that this thing has been coming for some time now, and it has arrived, and it's done something. I mean, you had that tsunami in Brazil last Sunday. You've had the earthquakes that has literally wakened the dead. Thousands of earthquakes there in Italy on that super volcano. Also in Italy, Mount Etna exploded. And in Iceland, you have this volcano that is literally on the verge. I'm going to show you this. What's going on? Look at this. This in the volcanic eruption in Iceland. Look at the road. That is the town there of 4,000 people. You can see it's a ghost town. Everybody's been evacuated. Look at the road. It just split it. And there's some hills around the city. It just split them in half. Just took the hill, just. And all of this is because of the and oh, by the way, it's all because of this volcano that's absolutely out of control. Iceland is even sinking by 3 feet yesterday, an astonishing transformation. There's been thousands of earthquakes, and they're predicting the volcano is going to blow, and we just don't know how bad it will be. It could affect the entire globe. weather. But there's already, even before that volcano explodes, this is the problem. This is the biggest news in the history of the world, and that is that the brightest gamma ray explosion ever has hit the Earth's upper atmosphere and has done some serious damage to the ozone. We're going to let Mike explain it. It's crazy. Matter of fact, I want to get a song, because this is the Salvation Station. And this song right here, I'm going to record. I'm going to record it. I'm going to record it very soon. I'll be right back to tell you more. Stan Deyo's coming. Stan Deyo and Mike Around the World. Here we go. Whoa. It's the Salvation Station.
There's a train leaving from Calvary, and it's going to Salvation Station. There's a train leaving from Calvary, and it's going to Salvation Station. I'm gonna jump that train. Gonna jump that train. Gonna jump that train. Whoa, Lordy, I'm gonna jump that train.
Gonna jump that train.
Gonna jump that train.
Gonna jump that train. We're gonna reach Salvation Station in the sky.
Yeah.
Somebody shout!
City, leave it all behind.
Yeah.
It's where we're going now. They don't take that kind.
No, I'm gonna leave Sin City. Gonna leave it all behind.
'Cause where we
Going, they don't take that kind.
Gonna jump that train. Gonna jump that train. I'm gonna jump that train. Whoa, Lordy, I'm gonna jump that train. I'm gonna jump that train. And we gonna reach Salvation
Station in the sky.
Yeah.
Salvation Station.
We're gonna reach it now. Oh yeah. We're gonna reach it now. Oh yeah. Yeah. You wanna sing? Sing now.
Come on.
Come on. Woo.
Can you hear that whistle blowing? Can you see that black coal smoke? Can you hear that whistle blowing, Lord? Salvation Station, that's where we going.
Sing it. Gonna jump that train.
Jump that train.
Jump that train.
Jump that train. Jump that train. Oh Lord, jump that train. Jump that train.
Jump that train. We gonna
Reach Salvation Station in the sky. Reach Salvation Station in the sky. Reach Salvation Station in the sky. Come on.
we gonna reach Salvation Station in the sky.
Come on, somebody.
Gonna reach Salvation
Station in the sky. Gonna jump that train. Gonna jump that train. Gonna jump that train. Whoa, gonna jump that train. Gonna jump that train. Gonna jump that
reach Salvation Station in the sky.
Salvation Station.
Gonna reach Salvation Station in the sky. We're gonna reach Salvation Station in the sky.
Yeah.
One more time, we're gonna
Reach Salvation Station in the sky.
Yes, we are.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna reach.
Jump that train. Gonna jump that train. Gonna jump that train. Gonna reach that Salvation Station in the sky. Oh yeah. Okay. I just had to play that one tonight. I just had to, okay? Just had to. I'm going to record that one. That's one of the three that I've identified. Whoa, wait a minute. Wait, take your meds. Take your meds, everybody. Here at the Villages at 9 o'clock. Everybody take your meds. It's 9 o'clock here on the Eastern Standard Time. Welcome, everybody, to the Salvation Station. This is the Coming Apocalypse. I'm Pastor Paul Begley. Tonight, Stan Deyo is going to join us in just a few moments. And Mike from around the world. And there's some serious problems going on. Let me just read this. The brightest gamma ray explosion of all time has scrambled the Earth's upper atmosphere. This powerful, literally, guys, this powerful gamma ray that may have been the most powerful cosmic explosion since the Big Bang, since the creation of all things by God, has caused a significant disturbance around the Earth when it struck our planet. This incredibly bright, long-lasting gamma ray burst, quote, the brightest of all time. So they're going to call it the BOAT. Brightest, B-O-A-T, brightest of all time. They're calling it the BOAT. And it's officially designated GRB 221009A. But what happened was this array of high energy was detected as it just rocked the satellites around the Earth. The BOAT is believed to have occurred when a massive star located more than 2 billion light years away exploded, and it just reached us now, creating a supernova before collapsing into a black hole. And when the blast of radiation struck our planet, the BOAT seems to have generated severe effects on the Earth's ionosphere. This layer of the atmosphere, which extends from the 30 to 600 miles above the planet's surface, is rich in electricity-charged particles. And investigating these effects could reveal if any of the Earth's mass extinctions might have resulted from a gamma ray burst in the past. We've been measuring gamma ray bursts since the 1960s. This is the strongest one ever measured by far, said Pietro Ubertini, a scientist at the National Institute of Astrophysics. Ubertini is a co-author of research published 2 days ago in the Journal of Nature Communications. Now, when scientists detected this massive gamma ray in October, they found it to be at least 10 times as powerful as the next most energetic gamma ray burst ever recorded. 10 times bigger than anything they've ever seen. They first detected it in October of last year, 2022. It just now got here. Now, photons have been detected from this gamma ray burst that has more energy than the Large Hadron Collider, or CERN. This thing is way stronger than CERN. CERN can't even compare to the power of these protons that slammed into the Earth, according to Gillian Rastanjad, a Northwestern University doctoral candidate who was not involved in the new research but was part of the team that detected the BOAT. Previously, Rastanjad explained that while the Large Hadron Collider can generate energies as high as 13 tera electron volts, and we've talked about that in the past, 4 or 5 years ago, or 13 trillion electron volts, this thing by far exceeds it. There's no comparison. Thus, it is a little surprising that during the 800 seconds that this gamma ray was pelting the Earth, we should have imparted, it should have imparted enough energy to disturb the ionosphere for several hours. The authors of a new study reasoned that the China electromagnetic satellite, which orbits Earth in the ionosphere, should have detected this disturbance, despite having never detected a gamma burst before. It did this time. And so this has led scientists to hypothesize that by the time the gamma ray bursts from the distant exploding stars reached the Earth, there was enough to visibly shake up the conductivity of the ionosphere. The BOAT was different, however, with its effect on the ionosphere obvious in the form of strong electric field variations. The effect of the BOAT was also measured in the atmosphere closer to the Earth's surface via radio signals bouncing between the surface of the ionosphere. Notably, this disturbance impacted the very lowest layers of the Earth's ionosphere, situated just tens of kilometers above our planet's surface, leaving an imprint comparable to that of a massive solar eruption, says Laura Hayes, a solar physicist at the European Space Agency and who has previously researched the boat gamma ray burst. Essentially, we can say that the ionosphere has moved down to lower altitudes, and we detected this in how the radio waves are bouncing along the ionosphere. The fact that the boat, or this massive gamma ray, had a measurable effect on the ionosphere, even though its photons traveled 2 billion light years to reach the Earth, reinforces the idea that a massive star dying in the Earth's vicinity could be a catastrophic for life on our planet. Our nearby gamma ray burst, which could also be created by colliding neutron stars, could not only affect the ionosphere, but also strip the planet of its ozone layer, leaving Earth completely exposed to harmful and deadly ultraviolet radiation from the sun. And that's actually prophesied in your Bible to happen in the book of Revelation, when men will be scorched with heat from the sun, and they'll start gnawing their tongues for pain and blaspheming God of heaven. Now we know how that's going to happen. And it may have just begun. This thing was insane. The nearby gamma ray burst, which is also created by colliding neutron stars, guys, is absolutely dangerous, because if it pushed the ionosphere down, and it no doubt we know it did damage to the ozone layer. We just don't know how much. Maybe Mike already knows, and maybe that's what. Remember what Mike from Around the World said last week when he said, "Oh yeah, we'll probably be talking about 8 days from now something that's happened to the sun." Well, he may have really been just giving us a little bit of a heads up, because this does more than just affect our ionosphere and our atmosphere, but it affects the sun in a big way. And it may have been what's caused the earthquakes and the volcanic eruptions. Did you see what was going on in Japan? Speaking of volcanoes, there was a underwater volcano off the coast of Iwo Jima, just created an island, a new island that emerged from the ocean off the coast of Japan there, now visible from space. This thing wasn't there 6 days ago. There was no island there at all. Now there's an island. It just come, and it's still smoking, it's still growing as the volcanic eruption is taking place there. And what about, let me just see if I got some more pictures to show you. I mean, look at this. This is Iceland. Look how big this huge. That's not just a crack. Why? Look how high it's all. The ground is like 3 feet. The road is 3 foot higher than it is on the other side of that crack. And there's hills that are completely split in half. And it's not from an earthquake. It's from a volcano that's about to blow. And so we're seeing this crack in the earth began to spread through a small Icelandic town called Grenovic. They've completely evacuated everybody there. It's 4,000 people. The roads have broken in half. The grassy hills have split apart, causing a great deal of damage. But the real concern, guys, is what might yet to come. Will this volcano blow? The town of 3,500 or 4,000 people have required to evacuate. They're all gone. And they're not going to get to go back home for months, if ever. Because if this thing blows, it's gone. That town's gone. And it's a modern town. I mean, you know. And so what's Mike from Around the World going to do to help us with this stuff? I mean, how are we going to understand what's really going on? And then in Iceland, it's not just only that the earth is cracking, but the Iceland is sinking. What? 3 feet yesterday. 3 feet. A stretch of Iceland 9 miles long just went down 3 feet. The ground just went down 3 feet. And that's because magma is moving, and it's about to blow. When this happens, usually you have a catastrophic, cataclysmic, volcanic eruption. They're holding their breath up there. Mike has a better feel for this stuff. I'd like to hear him explain it. So you got this volcano in Italy about ready to blow. You had Mount Etna. It did explode. 19 volcanoes right now are erupting as I'm talking to you. So you got this huge super volcano about ready to blow in Italy. You have this huge volcano about ready to explode and going to explode, no doubt, in Iceland. And then you have that tsunami last Sunday that hit Brazil. And then you have this gamma ray. This is just destroying our atmosphere. And what Lord only knows what it's done to the sun. And then the wars rage on in the Middle East. And we know that one of the hostages' bodies has been found today. A 66-year-old woman who was a kindergarten teacher, and she also worked as a cook in the kibbutz community in the kitchen. Her body was found. She was one of the 240 hostages. We're hearing now it's the wickedness. We do not know what they've done to these people. It is really concerning. Now, meanwhile, we also want to tell you that coming up December 1st is going to be a very powerful webinar called Invasion America. We're bringing in some of the heavy hitters of all time. Doug Hagman, Stan Deyo, Dave Hodges, Colonel David Giammona, my co-author of my book, Revelation, Troy Anderson, Mike from around the world, Bishop Larry Ragland, Pastor Steve Leidig from Hyman, Pennsylvania, Apostle Larry Shelby, Gary, Indiana. I really need to look and see if I can just find a. Yeah, here we go. Doug Hagman, Erie, Pennsylvania, Stan Deyo, Dave Hodges, Pastor Melvin Whittington, right here from Freedom Fellowship, Apostle Larry Shelby, Bishop Larry Ragland out of Birmingham, Troy Anderson out of California, Colonel David Giammona out of Georgia, Mike from around the world, from somewhere from around the world. Bart Begley has already done a tremendous documentary for this thing. And then we also have 3 women speakers, Judy Hoffman out of Utah, Cheryl Shelby out of also Gary, Indiana, and Liz Everson out of Idaho. And the unbelievable information about how many different ways is America being invaded. It's terrible. Let's get some help in understanding it. Stan Deyo, are you there? Oh, wait. Stan? Hang on a second. Stan Deyo. Stan, are you there? Can you hear me? Stan, where is Stan? Stan Deyo, you there? That's strange. Okay. I don't hear him. Hang on a second. Stan? Stan, are you there? Okay, I've answered it. And I do not hear Stan at all. I hope he's on a telephone. Stan, are you on a telephone? Can you hear me? There's no connection here. I mean, I've answered the phone. I see your number. There is absolutely no sound coming in from you. Not on the phone or even on my network here. Let me call you right back, Stan, see what happens. That's strange. That's weird even. Let's try that again.
Hello.
Stan.
Deyo Enterprises. We cannot take your call right now. After the tone.
Okay, so it will work. Stan, I'm calling you again.
Hello. You've reached Deyo Enterprises.
Okay, so Stan has not hung up his phone. He needs to hang up his phone, take my call. So, oh, I love technology. Stan, we're going to try it again.
Hello. You've reached Deyo Enterprises. We cannot take.
Okay. Well, we know he's out there. He called me. Could not hear. Now he's trying again. Stan, is that you?
1, 2, 3, 4. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now. Stan, how you doing?
Hold on. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, I had a loose connection in my phone line.
Something there. I knew that was something wasn't right. Yep. How you doing tonight?
Oh, pretty good. I've been busily working over what's happening in the Middle East, and I probably could tell you a couple things that aren't on the seminar, but people ought to look at anyway.
We'll go right ahead. Tell us. You got some Middle East information. We need to know about it.
Well, after we finished the interview for the seminar, I looked up Jared Kushner, who'd made a speech just after the Gaza or the Palestinian, Hamas people invaded Israel.
Yep.
And in that speech, he lays out what's going to happen, to make peace in the Middle East, how they're going to definitely get rid of Hamas, but then they're going to set up a new government in Palestine, a new state. And he and Mohammed bin Salman have been working on this behind the scenes. It's a 3-hour tape, but you can go to my show images page on standeo.com and go to show images, and the top two, like 50, 55, 56, or 54, 55. Anyway, the top slides. Click on that, and you can see the interview. It's well worth watching because you're watching Jared Kushner and Mohammed bin Salman. I think they're the two beasts of Revelation 13. I tell you what, when you hear what he has to say and how bright this fellow is, and how well thought out the settlement of the current crisis is, you just got to shake your head and say, "I'm looking at him. That's the guy."
Wow. Yeah, folks, what you don't know is I interviewed Stan Deyo yesterday for the webinar, Invasion America. And in that, it was a tremendous interview, tremendous information, in which we talk about potential candidates really for Antichrist or false prophet or participant in some way. And Stan brings out some unbelievable information in the webinar. And since we've had the conversation, Stan has found more info. So you're saying, and you can find this if you check out his website at www.standale.com.
Right.
So tell us. So you found Jared Kushner talking for 3 hours?
Yeah, in a special podcast with an interviewer that was a clever, very smart interviewer, asked him the right questions, and you see how, I'm not saying the devil's got him yet, but eventually the devil can use this guy to be an antichrist because he comes up with a business solution. I mean, his degree at university was in business and business management, and he approached the whole Middle East situation when he started doing the Abraham Accords as a business project where they would make business plans for each country and within the country subgroups to make them profitable. And he's already saying that it'll take about $2 billion after they finish getting rid of Hamas over there. They will rebuild Gaza. The international community will support it. A number of Arab countries will support it. I mean, this guy, and he is so close to Mohammed bin Salman. The two of them are just, buddy type things. In fact, one of the show images things I have up there, slide 54, says the bromance of the princes, Prince Mohammed bin Salman and Prince Jared Kushner. There's just so much more about Kushner. His family name is really Berkowitz, and they changed it with his dad. His dad got convicted of felonies and all kinds of stuff. Very wealthy fellow there. But anyway, the Kushner name they chose, I don't know why they chose Kushner, because Kush is all of Iran. One of the great rivers out of the Garden of Eden went around that.
Yeah, Kush. Yes.
Yeah, Kush with a K, not the
Yep,
Z.
with the K. Kush. Yep.
And before that asteroid hit, it caused the flood that hit the east side of India and shoved it, the crust of India up into to form the Himalayas. Actually, there was a town called Dwarka, right next to the Persian Gulf exit there, and there was an island there where Lord or God Krishna, they call it in India, where he built his temple, his pyramid, and it sank under the water with a great water catastrophe. Of course, the flood and the impact. But this guy, when you look at his name, Krishna, and you look at Krishna, you got to wonder
Wow.
why they chose that. I mean, there was a nuclear war over there before the flood took them, and Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, two cities on the Indus River. One of them shows they've got skeletons that were all laid flat in the same direction from a nuclear blast because it melted all the pottery and everything in there. And so there was a war, according to the Indian tradition, between Krishna and his enemy, which could have been the ruler of Atlantis, Poseidon, or it could by another name, obviously, in their dialect. But they, my mind is exploding. I found out so many things I'm reading up, and I'm going to have to write a book on this if we have time.
Well, look what you've done, and you do know that, of course, Jared Kushner, like you said, his father did go to prison for quite a while. Jared, at one point, owned the 666 building on Fifth Avenue in New York. I actually went there and got thrown out of there. Okay.
Leave it to you.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to make my way up. I knew that I found out. I did research that on the 41st floor of the 666 building is where Sharpen, Reverend Al Sharpen, has a special office. There's certain people up there who got an office up on the okay. And so I was trying. My plan was Heidi had the camera. I went in there and I was going to go in the elevator and I was going to shoot up to the 41st floor and just look around and see who all maybe find out whose names were on the doors. Well, I never got to past the elevator door when there was nobody in the lobby when I walked in, not a soul. But when I got to that elevator, there was two security guys on me as fast. I mean, I don't even know where they came from. I don't know if they came out of the wall. I don't know where they came from. But they took me and they shoved me out the door back in the street. So, yeah. But Jared did own the 666 building.
His family business did.
Yeah.
He's turned the reins of that business over to a new CEO since he's gone off into the Middle East.
Right.
But now, Jared he's worth about $800 to $900 million personally now.
Yeah.
He set up this new company, and it's an investment company to invest in various projects for Israel, and that has raised $3 billion that he's got control of. $2 billion of that was donated by Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia.
Whoa!
Yes, and it came from Mohammed bin Salman's public development fund, public investment fund in Saudi Arabia, which is it holds $850 billion in trust there to use to do whatever they decide to do between them. Mohammed bin Salman and Jared Kushner are thick as thieves. This is just incredible.
And as you know, the Mohammed bin Salman, who is the Saudi crown prince, is soon to take over the reins. He's basically running Saudi Arabia now.
Right. His dad has been ill.
Yes, his dad's very ill. And he said he wanted to turn this was several years ago, about 3 years ago. He said he wanted to turn the Gaza Strip into the Vegas Strip, and that they were going to run this high-speed train from Gaza all the way into Ramallah. It would go above all the highways and would land down in, it'd be like a bridge almost. It would land into Ramallah, and it would link the Palestinian world from the West Bank to Gaza. This was kind of their dream, and create a two-state solution by using this bridge, of a highway.
That's got to be in the business plan that Jared was talking about. It's a whole paper put forward that Mohammed bin Salman had his people put together called something 2030, the target for 2030.
Right.
What they're going to do and that's only 7 years. 70 years again, like a tribulation period. Now, Prince Muhammad bin Salman, think of this. In Daniel, it says the Antichrist will be a signer of the peace treaty between Israel and the many nations.
Yeah.
And he's only going to be a prince until his father dies, then he'll be a king.
Yep.
So we're on short leash.
Oh, I
Muhammad
see
bin
your
Salman.
point. If he is,
gosh.
if in other words, if Mohammed bin Salman is the Antichrist, he's
Yeah.
a prince. It calls him in Daniel a prince. If his
Yeah,
father
prince, yeah.
dies, he's a king. So if it's good, if he is the Antichrist, we're just saying, just hypothetically, if he is the Antichrist, he's got to get this done quick. And matter of fact, if you're studying the whole New World Order, or let's just call it the United Nations Agenda of 2030, we're closing in now. We're 6 years away. I mean, this thing's moving fast.
I know, and it's just, I mean, I don't know whether he or Jared Kushner will be the first or second beast, but between them, they may be both of the beasts in the Revelation 13. Jared is smart enough, business-wise, computer-wise, whatever, to run a global digital currency. Mohammed bin Salman owns part of a bank over in not Riyadh, but over on the west coast there near Medina. And it's been investigating and buying stock in various blockchain-type trading companies worldwide, so you can have digital transfer of funds instead of cash. So between the two of them, I mean, which one gets killed, the prince of the covenant or the false prophet that comes after him? And which one of those guys is it? It's just, wow.
I mean,
my mind is about to explode here.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly, and I'm working on a second book. My first book is just about ready to, Revelation 9/11. Okay, it's coming out in April. It's already doing really well at Amazon, and I'm already started a second book. Okay, and
Right.
it's the Beast and the 10 Kings, and so. You're getting into my category. You're getting in my category now, Stan. You're getting right in my wheelhouse here. There's no question. There is several people on the planet right now. I actually am listing a top 10 list in the book. These guys are on it. There's several lists of people that if they're not, they participate in some way. Maybe they're one of the 10 kings to the beast. Maybe maybe one of these people are the Antichrist. As you're saying, you're zeroing in on a couple guys that are big time players. You got to have money to get in this position, okay? You got to have money, and you got to have the ability. Now, there's the technology side. I've people throw all kinds of names at us. When you start talking about powerful men, Elon Musk, let's say. I'm not saying he is, but a guy like that can control space. He can control the internet, satellite systems. He can, he's involved in a lot of things. That doesn't mean he'll be the Antichrist, but he and a lot of these other guys, Bill Gates, a lot of these people could be in the running for at least the 10 kings that are going to answer. And you got King Charles out there. I mean, there's a lot of people out there.
Yeah, King Charles is on the list too. The Saudis have one of the fastest computers in Europe now than at the university in Riyadh. But if Mohammed bin Salman needs access to a quantum computer, I wonder if he's already making a deal with Elon Musk.
Wow.
Two of them have been talking.
Wow. I would guarantee.
Oh, wow.
You're right. And then you got the China's President Xi Jinping, who said he wants to be in charge of the New World Order. He's sitting at the table. Last night, it was President Xi Jinping, President Biden, and 8 other men sitting at a table having dinner at $40,000 a plate for the 8. And Musk was one of those. The CEO of Microsoft was there. The CEO of ExxonMobil was there. The CEO of Citibank Corp was there. And there was 4 more, and they haven't released their names.
Was one of them maybe the chairman of AT&T?
Might have been, if you know that. Yeah. Could have been.
Because he's involved in this whole Middle East thing with Jared.
With Jared and with Muhammad. Wow.
Yeah.
There's too many. You're saying there's too many. There's a lot of dots getting connected. Let's put it that way. A lot of dots.
and they're going to connect real quick.
Yeah. Well, in
Yeah.
this webinar, you do a tremendous job in explaining a lot of stuff. It was a 1-hour interview, and folks about the invasion of America and the vulnerability. And would you and Stan, you a long time ago, you was an FBI agent. I mean, you've been involved in a lot of stuff. You shared that before with us. The Mark of the Beast technology, you said it was actually being worked on back in the 70s.
Yep. I even sat in some of the meetings in Dallas before I went to Australia.
And when you say, now this is blowing my mind because that's 50 years ago, Stan. That's 50 years ago. I mean, how far along were they then?
Well, they were still in infancy. I mean, IBM computers, the biggest one they had was a 360 at the time, and your iPhone has about 1,000 to 10,000 times more memory and functions than that computer had. So at those days, we were looking at very crude ways to put an ID barcode or something on the right hand or the forehead of people so they could hold groceries and, open a car or whatever, but still show their.
But
their
were you? I mean, but were they discussing that? Did they discuss?
Oh yeah, these were businessmen in Dallas, very very wealthy ones in the oil business, and I was invited because I was hotshot in computers, and the way we decided about the placement of the marking was very simple. I mean, if you had no hands, but you had a brain and were functional, they could put a mark on the bony part of your skull, which could be read by a sensor made by Texas Instruments, and you could then pay for things or get tickets or whatever you need to do with your money. But if you had hands, then most people in the world are right-handed and hold the keys to their camel or their car or whatever in the right hand, their groceries in the left hand. So they come through to pay. It's very easy then to just swing your hand by a sensor. So that's how we did it, thinking that we could do it and put a subcutaneous ID in it. And at that time, Texas Instruments had already made one of these little things about the size of 2 grains of rice that you can put into your dog's neck, his whole ID and everything, and put it under the skin and you can read it. That was back then. And now they have very sophisticated microscopic circuits that some of them have gold leads and everything that can be imprinted into your skin. It's just that look, Texas Instruments has been big in this. They even made a device, which I have part of the data on here, which you could put across a 4-lane highway, and it will read the license plate and the number of people in the car, and in some cases, the ID or the license of the people in the car coming underneath this overpass, on the highway at 100 miles an hour, and get everything on all those cars that I just mentioned as it passes under the thing at 100 miles an hour.
So you're telling me that as a car is going under an underpass at 100 miles an hour,
Like the lights and stuff that go across the freeways and things,
yeah, it can read the license plate, the VIN number probably, the license plates. I mean the driver's license of everybody sitting in the car, so it knows the identification. Okay, Stan may have hit something a little too sensitive. Stan, Earth to Stan, Earth to Stan. NSA, turn him loose. Can't have Stan. Okay. Well, you heard him say it. He worked on the technology in the early 70s for the FBI because he is an absolute guru. I mean, he's a a genius when it comes to this. And he was involved in helping make the technology that would be used for the Mark of the Beast. And he wasn't a Christian then. And when he figured out what they were doing, he started reading his Bible, gave his life to Christ, and skipped the country and went to Australia. Here we go. All right, Stan, you there? Okay. So Stan just got disconnected again. This is crazy. Let me see if I can connect. Maybe there's. You don't think they're listening? You don't think they're listening to Stan?
Hello, you've reached Deyo Enterprises.
Okay, so. Okay. Stan's trying. Stan, are you there? Stan?
Hello?
There you are, Stan. Stan?
Oh,
Yeah, we got you.
okay, I've got a short here in one of these leads. Hold on a second.
Stan Deyo with us, folks.
Are you there?
Yeah, we're here, Stan. We got you.
Right.
So we might be getting a little too close for comfort for somebody out there. I don't know.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
And you can hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Right. I'm sorry, I'm having to switch lines here. That the line has a loose connection and it disconnected. All I was going to do was just say basically bye. I'm sorry, I'm probably running over my time here.
Well, Stan, look, I want to thank you. Appreciate what you have done. This webinar is going to be is incredible. We got a lot of great folks we're interviewing. I mean, Doug Hagman's in this. Dave Hodges is in this. Colonel David Giamona. On and on and on. Troy Anderson just goes on and on. We got a lot of great folks in this, and I really appreciate what you shared with us. And so, on the webinar, I think folks should get a ticket for this and be prepared, because America's under siege in a lot of different directions. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, agreed.
So thank you so much for coming on. We'll let you go. We don't want the NSA to beat us up or disconnect us or arrest us or whatever they're going to do. But, okay. I mean, you're the guy that left for 30 years, so you know what I'm talking about, right?
Well, I do. I have to have a thought every time the phone misbehaves or the computer fails or something at a critical point. Was it an accident or not?
Don't know.
All right. Well, look,
All right, Stan. Thank
have
you.
a good evening and good talking to you. And get in touch with me about what we're talking about here today.
I will. I'll be back to you on that. Absolutely. All right, Stan. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. He obviously did not share everything he has found out. And that's why he's saying, get back to me. He wants to talk to me privately off the air. Look, that's what I'm saying. Invasion America is on, guys. We're dealing with, it's not a conspiracy. This guy in the early 1970s was a 22-year-old genius. I don't even want to know what his IQ is. He was so brilliant that he went from high school to the FBI. Forget college, because of his incredible comprehension on what to do with technology, what to do with computers, which are just getting started. But more than that, I mean, he has several patents. He's got the EMP shield thing that can protect all of your appliances in your home. If you go to standale.com, if you order the EMP shield, if you go to empshield.com and then use the promo code Begley, you can save $50. But you can get the actual unit that will keep from a solar flare or a nuclear explosion from frying all of your appliances. Okay? And he talks about some stuff on this webinar that's just off the chain. I can't tell you what he said. I can't tell you what he said on the webinar, because that's the stuff I can't tell you. Because we're in a guys, you do know that the beast knows that we're on to him. And he threw out a couple names there for you to think and chew on, but in reality is the devil himself, Lucifer himself, the son of perdition in the Bible. He knows we're on to him. He knows I'm on to him. He knows you're on to him if you're a student of Bible prophecy. And as the more we go forward, the more we see the Satan's hand working. I mean, today, I just listened to a guy, and I wanted to vomit. I literally wanted to puke into my hands. I couldn't hardly hold it. as he supposedly, and he's not the only one, there's several out there, not a lot of them, but there's several, who is trying to convince people that somehow the Jewish people were going to be the beast, that they, the government of Israel, that the Jews themselves were going to be the kingdom of darkness, or that they were already. I'm not sure. He was. And I was sitting there, I was thinking, somebody sent this to me in an email, said, you won't believe what's being said. And I did. I was just freaked out. I mean, and this is why, do you wonder why Israel's hated so bad? I mean, the whole world is hating them right now. I never seen anything like it. And I'm thinking, why are they hating these people? This little bitty sliver, this little bitty government trying to survive in a midst of all around them people who, and this has become, it's unbelievable everywhere you turn now. The United Nations, European Union, the nations of the world, they're protesting, they're fighting. They attacked the Democrat Party headquarters last night in the Capitol. Fisticuffs fight. I mean, it was unbelievable. There was 250 people just slugging it, trying to break in. Now, none of them will be arrested or put on trial for like the January 6 people. But I'm just saying, the violence. And what were they upset about? Israel. They were upset that Schumer and 2 or 3 others of the Democrats, along with a few of the senators and congressmen of the Republicans, were standing on the stage together in front of 300,000 peaceful Jews and Christians in Washington, and they were angry that these guys were up there. There's like, and so you're starting to see the anti-Semitism really ratcheting up. And why is that happening? Because they're God's chosen people. Can I read a scripture to you before we're going to get, look, Mike from the World's going to be here in a minute. I just got to read this. And because I know a lot of folks don't even know this is in the Bible. So it would help people. This is what's going to help you. When you hear people saying all this negativity about the Jews and about, the Church of Jesus Christ, the Christians and Jews and all of that, let's just help understand it. If you go to Romans chapter 11, what a chapter. I'm not going to read the whole chapter. I'm just going to, I highlighted a few verses, but listen to this. The very first verse, if you go to Romans chapter 11, I'm in the King James Version. Listen to this. I say then, hath God cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite. This is Paul now. Paul writing to the church in Rome. He says, why would he write this to the church in Rome? Listen to this. He says, I say then, hath God cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. God has not cast away his people, which he foreknew. So Paul's saying, are you people trying to say that the Jews are all going to hell? Hold on a minute. Then he goes on to say, what ye not what the scripture said about Elijah? How he was making intercession. He was praying to God against Israel, saying, that Israel had backslidden. And that's because King Ahab and Jezebel were in charge, and they were worshiping Baal, and they were sacrificing babies. This is 3,000 years ago. And the Lord, and so Elijah was praying. He said, Lord, they've killed the prophets. They've digged down thine altars. I'm left alone. I'm the only one left. They seek my life. And God spoke and said and answered. He said, I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed their knee to the image of Baal. Even so then, at this present time, also there's a remnant of Jews according to the election of grace. Then Paul says this, same chapter, verse 7. What then? Israel has not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election has obtained it, and the rest were blinded. In other words, Israel was blinded purposely. Jews were blinded to allow guys like me, wild olive branch, some Irishman, some hillbilly Irishman, so I could get saved. God purposely blinded their eyes so I could get in. So is God going to throw them to the wind after he blinded them purposely? This is what Paul is saying. According as it is written, God hath given them the spirit of slumber to their eyes, that they should not see, and their ears, so they could not hear until this day. Now this is Paul in Romans. So God blinded their eyes, and Paul's writing this in the first, around 80 or 90 AD, 100 years. Church has been around almost 100 years. He's writing this to the church in Rome, saying, right now, I'm telling you, there's still Jews' eyes are blinded. It's so that the whole world can be evangelized, till the fullness of the Gentiles can come in. Then he goes on to say, go down to verse 15. For if the casting away of them be the reconciliation of the world, what shall the receiving of them be but life from the dead? If God is willing to blind his own chosen people, whom he made an everlasting covenant with, to allow the rest of the world to come to Jesus, then how much power will there be when he brings them into the fold? Now listen to this. For if the first fruit be holy, verse 16, read this. If the first fruit be holy, who's the first fruit? Who said, I am the first fruit of the resurrection? Who said that? In the book of Revelation, who said, I am the first fruit of the resurrection? Yeshua, Jesus Christ himself. So if the first fruit be holy, the lump is also holy. Jesus came from the tribe of Judah. If he is holy, if the first fruit of the resurrection is holy, then the whole lump is holy. Okay? And if the root be holy, so also are the branches. Then he says this, and if some of the branches be broken off, and thou being a wild olive tree, Paul Begley, was to be grafted in among the Jews, and with them partake of the root, which is Christ, and fatness of the olive tree. So in other words, God is making a way so that every person on this planet has a chance to be saved. And then he goes on to say this in verse 23. And they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in. For God is able to graft them in again. Talking about the Jews now. He said, for if thou wert cut off of the olive tree, which is a wild by nature, if Paul Begley can be cut off of a wild tree, and they could take me and graft me into the natural, if I, being a wild olive tree, which is wild by nature, could be grafted contrary to nature into the good olive tree, how much more shall these which be of the natural branches be grafted into their own olive tree? In other words, when God opens the eyes of the blind, when he does, and he's going to, and lots, probably 10% now already are becoming Messianic. But when he opens all of the eyes, they'll be so easy to get them saved. They'll come to the Christ faster than all the rest of us Gentiles. They love God. They're trying to serve God. And they're trying to understand. But he put a slumber and a sleep on them so that the rest of us who aren't Jewish could be saved. And now I'm going to finish reading this, verse 26. And so all Israel, read this verse. If somebody says to him, I don't know, the synagogue of Satan, brother. You don't even know what that verse is talking about. Read verse 26. Romans 11:26. And so all of Israel shall be saved. As it is written in the Old Testament, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer. We know that's Jesus. And he shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. For this is my covenant unto them, when I shall take away their sins. all of Israel shall be saved. So guys, if you really want to find your place in the kingdom of God, the worst thing you can do is start out by insulting God's kids. Okay? Just don't do that. Accept Jesus. Let him wash away your sins. And once he's washed away your sins, be patient to let God work on the rest of the kids. Let him bring them in. He will. He said, because us as Christians, we are provoking them to jealousy. It's in the same chapter. I ain't got time to preach this whole 36 verses of this chapter. I probably should. It's so easy to see. And what God is saying to us, be patient. They're coming. They're coming to the Messiah. They're coming to the knowledge of the Messiah. But God had to hold them back a minute to let me and you get in. It's unbelievable. This is what grace is all about. This is what grace, what it really means. It's the love of God. I'll be right back after this. We've got Mike from the World coming. Stan Dale just blew our minds, talking about Mohammed bin Salman, talking about that whole possibility with Kushner and all of that, the Abraham Accords and all of these nations are coming together. Now you got this war going on right now. This is Psalms 83. It is absolutely Psalms 83. We might even see the destruction of Damascus, turning it into a ruinous heap. That's Isaiah 17:1. That's also in Jeremiah 49:23 through 28. We also may see God put his hand on Iran and smack them. It could even lead us into Gog and Magog. You can find out about how God deals with Elam, which is also Persia, which is also Iran. You can find that also in Jeremiah 49:34 through 39. All of the scriptures are coming to pass. All of them. And you're starting to see the enemies of Israel surrounding Jerusalem. And the Bible says, Jesus said it in Luke 21, verse 20. He said, when you see the armies compassing Jerusalem, know that the end thereof is nigh. Guys, we're getting closer and closer and closer to the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ. Give your life to him, to Christ. He's coming. Are you serious? The dry bones are alive. Saturday was silent, and surely it was through. Since when has impossible ever stopped you? And Friday's disappointment is Sunday's empty tomb. Since when has impossible ever stopped you? This is the sound of a dry bones rattling. This is the praise make a dead man walk again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. This is the sound of dry bones rattling.
Pentecostal fire, stirring something new. You're not gonna run out of miracles anytime soon. Your resurrection power, it runs in my veins too. I believe there's another miracle here in this room. My God is able to save and deliver and heal and restore anything that he wants to. Just ask the man who was thrown on the bones of Elisha if there's anything that he can do. Just
Thank you.
ask the stone that was
Harriet,
rolled
thank you.
at the tomb in the garden. What happens when God says to move?
Are you ready?
I feel him moving it now. I feel him doing it now. I feel him doing it now. Do it now. Do it now. This is the sound of dry bones rattling. Yeah, this is the praise make a dead man walk again.
Somebody shout.
Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. This is the sound of dry bones rattling.
Thank you so much, Hummingbird Lady. Thank you. Son of man, these bones. Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Prophesy and say to them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up from your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. Then you shall know that I am the Lord, and I will put my spirit in you, and I will place you in your own land, and you shall live. I will place you in your own land. You shall live, 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 live. Mike from around the world is going to meet us and join us in just a moment. Stan Deyo blew our minds. Dry bones live, live, live. Dry bones live. Dry bones live. Dry bones live. Dry bones live. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, 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 yes. A powerful song. I'm telling you right now. I would like to play another one real fast. Now, Mike's going to join us here in just a few minutes. But I've been looking at some different songs. Some of you heard me. I played a song I'm going to record, Salvation Station. I played it right when we first started. So if you missed that, when this show is over tonight, you got to go back and listen to the first 5 or 10 minutes. I actually break out a song that I'm going to record called the Salvation Station. But I've got another one here I want to play for you that I am going to record. I'm going to give you guys just a little taste of it here. But I can't help it. It's just too much of a blessing. And someone just said, I'm rapture. Somebody, what made me think of it is someone just typed, I'm rapture ready. Really? Well, I love that. So, I'm going to play a song here for you that I'm going to record with Israel Hall, and Israel will he'll work it, and it'll be amazing. He'll create more to it, better than the originals, okay? But anyway, here we go. Let me see if I can find it. And all right. This is for all my rapture ready people out there, okay? This is for all of you folks. Give me 1 second. It will be ready to roll. I'll record this. I'm waiting on the rapture to come. Come on, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Old man Jonah sitting in his chair, got no teeth and he
Got no hair,
He got no daughter and he
got no son, but he's waiting on the rapture to come.
I said he
Waiting on the rapture to come.
We never didn't bury and he never went far. Never bought a house
Or a brand new car.
But he ain't no beggar and he sure ain't dumb.
He's just waiting on the rapture comes.
I said he
Waiting on the rapture comes. And when the rapture comes,
Lord gonna call out his name.
rapture comes.
Jonah gonna put down his cane. Heaven gonna call him away. But until that day, old man Jonah got an old brass horn. He's had it since the day that he was reborn. But he ain't gonna
Play
blow for
to
this
anyone. He's waiting till the rapture comes.
I said he
Waiting till the rapture comes.
comes.
Yeah. Come on now. Oh, yeah. Well, he's waiting till the Lord returns. He's just waiting on the rapture comes. Come on. See, I'll have Izzy do a little saxophone about now. He's just waiting on the rapture to come.
When the rapture comes, Lord gonna call out his
Name.
Oh,
You're
Jonah
gonna throw down that cane.
and heaven gonna take him away. But until
Till that day. Listen to this.
preacher come walking down the country
country route.
He said, hey,
Jonah, it's been a while.
But Jonah keep his eyes on the
Setting
setting
sun, he says, waiting till the rapture comes.
I said he waiting till the rapture come. And when the rapture
Rapture comes.
Lord gonna call out his name.
Yeah.
Jonah gonna put down his cane.
Oh, yeah.
Heaven gonna call him away. But
Till that day.
oh, go, come,
Somebody shout.
come, yeah,
Yeah.
come, come, rapture come,
Yeah.
come,
Rapture come. Come. Till the rapture comes. Oh, yeah. Till the rapture comes.
say come, rapture come.
Somebody praise the Lord. I'm just waiting on the rapture to come. Jonah, throw down that cane. You'll never be the same. But until that day, waiting on the rapture to come. Just sitting around waiting on the rapture to come. You're not going to knock him off track. He's got his eyes on Jesus. Oh, yeah. Some of you about ready to get saved tonight.
Well, come on now. Come and take me away, Lord. Come and take me away, Lord.
Take me, Lord.
Come and take me away, Lord.
Take me away, Lord.
Yeah.
The rapture to come. Waiting on the rapture to come. Waiting on the rapture to come. Oh, yeah, Lord. I'm just waiting on the rapture. No matter how bad it gets around me, this world's gone insane. But I'm waiting on the rapture for the Lord to take me away. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Just waiting on the rapture to come. Well, you know, in a lot of ways, we've got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of things to do to get people to Christ. Obviously, we must be occupiers. We must be about the Father's business. But every now and then, it just kind of feels good to say, you know what? The Bible says there'll be signs in the sun, the moon, the stars, distress of nations with perplexity. The sea, the waves will be roaring, and men's hearts will be on evil continually. Every imagination of their hearts on evil. So we know that's part of the deal. Okay? He said, but then you're going to see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, he said, look up, lift up your head, your redemption is drawing nigh. Oh, man. Just waiting on the rapture to come. So we're going to be talking to Mike from around the world here in a minute. Stan Deyo was amazing earlier. Guys, get your ticket. If you haven't got your tickets, you got time to get them. Get them now. December 1st. It's called Invasion America. It's going to be unbelievable. 14 speakers in this. There will be no DVDs. I'm not going to make them DVDs. I got too many speakers. It wouldn't even make sense to try to put that together. So instead, we just cut this cost as low as we could go because we got to take care of all our speakers. So we cut this cost as low as we can go, and get your ticket because 14 hours of unbelievable information about Invasion America. And I'm not just talking about the southern border. I mean, we're being invaded by everything. I just talked to Bishop Larry Ragland tonight, and he told me what he's going to talk about. And it's going to blow your mind. The invasion, I don't want to spoil it, but it's the invasion of witchcraft in America. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. I just interviewed Stan Deyo. Incredible interview. And we couldn't even talk about what he said, okay, tonight. Doug Hagman, he's going to tell you that in 2007, him and 3 other men crawled through the woods in upstate New York until they found a jihad militant camp that was training military-age men to be sleeper cells and jihadists. This is in 2007. He got video footage of it. He was in camouflage, and he told the FBI what he had, and the FBI come and confiscated all of it. Except he had just a few pictures and stuff he got to keep that they didn't know about. So later, he and a couple other guys found more. He's going to share that information with you. Doug Hagman. Stan Deyo, I already told you. I can't even tell you what he's brought up. Blow your mind. Dave Hodges, you guys know who he is. You've seen him. Incredible. His father, who worked very, very high in intelligence. And so Dave has tremendous insight information, internal information. Like I said, Stan's a former FBI agent, worked on the Mark of the Beast technology, how to put scans in that right hand and in the foreheads. And that was 1972. So how far are they now? Yeah, these guys are just incredible. And like I said, Colonel David Giammona, 32 years, U.S. Army colonel. He wrote the book, along with Troy Anderson, Military Guide to Armageddon. Incredible information that he's going to bring forward, he and Troy. Troy's my co-author on this book right here that we just wrote, which is coming out. It's available now if you go to Amazon.com. We wrote the book, Revelation 9/11, a vision that God gave me, and then we did research. It took 2 years for us to put this together. It's the most comprehensive book of its kind. Matter of fact, we got endorsed by Kevin Sorbo, the famous actor. You guys know he's been in like 40 different films. He was Hercules in that series. I can't remember what all the movies he's been in. You can Google it. But recently he was in God's Not Dead. He was in, these famous films. He read the book and endorsed it, put a big endorsement on it. Jim Bakker put a big endorsement on it. Jimmy Evans. Some of you know who Pastor Jimmy Evans is. Huge. He has churches. He has massive ministry. Love this book. He endorsed the book. He's a prophecy expert himself. Jack Moss, one of the first mega pastors in the history of America. He's right now an associate director at Christian Broadcasting Network, CBN, and the 700 Club. He's endorsed it. It's just on and on and on, okay? I can't even think about Alex Newman, who's worked with Epic Times. I mean, all these people. Because what we did is we decided to not only go by what the Bible says, but to find a proof of what's going on right now that matches it. And we put it together, and we will destroy the woke agenda in this book. We will show you all the things that Apollyon is doing when he crawled out of that bottomless pit, as it says is happening in Revelation 9:11, and what's happening today. So anyway, I want you to get a copy. I want you to get a ticket, I'm saying, to Invasion America. And I didn't even bring up Mike Around the World's name. He's in it for an hour. Okay? I mean, can you imagine the intel you're going to get out of this? This is the one webinar a year. This is the webinar where you get more intel from the guys that are tapped in. Hagman, Deyo, Hodges, Giamona, Anderson, Mike Around the World. These guys are tapped in with the intel. Then I got you three great pastors. Bishop Larry Ragland, Pastor Steve Leidig, Pastor Melvin Whittington, and Apostle Larry Shelby. I got four. And it's incredible. It's incredible. And I'm in it too, so that's five. And then we got three women who are incredibly, you won't believe this. The one whose husband was murdered because of his intel information. You just get the ticket. Don't miss it. Get the ticket and be ready. Tonight would be a great time. And before Mike comes, and Mike's going to be here in 2 minutes, if you haven't had a chance to give your tithe and offering tonight, let's do that now. We got 2 minutes. Mike will be here in a couple minutes. Let's do that now. If you'd like to give, please do that. Help us. I'm going to show you something. Where's it at? Oh, I got to hurry. Where's she at? Where's she at? Okay, I got two things to show you tonight. I got to show you these. I got to first show you William. He said, I can trust God. He makes a way. William likes to color pictures and send them to me. I appreciate it, William. You're a good man, good young man, loves the Lord, and he loves to send me his pictures that he colors and stuff. And so thank you, William, for that. I really appreciate that. I love that young man's faith. Then I'm going to show you Millie. Bless her heart. Millie died just recently up in Canada. There she is. She came to see me. She was 93 years old, living in a nursing home. She heard I was preaching in Ontario, Canada, in Brampton, for a weekend up there. And she got a lady to come and get her out of the nursing home and drive 9 hours across Canada just to be there one night to meet me. She'd been watching me for 5 years in the nursing home, a faithful partner. She was a faithful supporter. I've talked on the phone with her for 2 or 3 different times for an hour at a time. She was filled with wisdom. I love this lady, a beautiful, beautiful soul. And she came to see me. She went on to be with the Lord. And her friend wrote a beautiful card and just such kind words. How she loved me and Heidi. How she thanked me for preaching the gospel and reaching souls and bringing them into the harvest. And she reminds me of my grandmother, who went on to be with the Lord. But this lady was 94 years old. She came to see me. She was 90. Was she 92 or 3? Maybe she was 95 when she died. She might have been 92. I think she was 92 right here. Looks great, doesn't she? She's like, better than I do. Praise God. Well, I can promise you, where she's at tonight is where I want to go, to be with Jesus. To be with Jesus. Mike from around the world is going to join us here any moment. Stan Deyo has already met with us tonight, blow our minds a little bit with information that he has acquired about Jared Kushner and also about Mohammed bin Salman. But I won't say nothing else. You have to listen to his presentation. The interview I did with him yesterday that's going to be on Invasion America is incredible. Stan is an incredible guy. Mike around the world is going to join us any second. So get your coffee. Get your coffee. Calm down, everybody. Calm down. Because we're living in the end times. What's going on? Mike's going to talk to us. The brightest gamma ray explosion in history. The brightest, most powerful gamma ray explosion ever known happened and has affected our ionosphere. It's fried. I don't know what all it's done. Mike's going to help us. Joining us from somewhere around the world, Mike from around the world. Mike, how you doing tonight?
God bless you, Pastor Paul. I'm doing okay.
Great. I appreciate it. I know you're a busy man. And we're so glad
You
to
could
have
say
you.
that.
Yeah, I'd say that.
It's good to be here. Good to be here.
Oh, God bless you, Mike. Mike, okay, the brightest gamma ray explosion of all time, scrambling the Earth's upper atmosphere, pushing down it says, the ionosphere. Is so bright, they're calling it the boat, brightest of all time.
Yeah.
They're saying that this thing did some serious damage, maybe to our ozone layer. It happened 2 billion light years away, and it's finally arrived. So I was thinking about and look, we had a tsunami on the coast of Brazil. It came out of nowhere. We've had a volcano, Mount Etna, has erupted. We have the super volcano under Italy is unbelievably shaking and quaking. There was an island from a volcano that erupted, just formed a brand new island off the coast of Iwo Jima there in Japan. And Iceland has just sunk 3 feet today and cracked open the split hills. They're expecting 4,000 people have been evacuated. I'm just wondering, Mike, is this gamma ray thing got anything to do with all of this activity on the sun and everything going on? Help us understand this gamma ray thing.
Well, that gamma ray it actually happened many millions of years ago.
Right.
We're just now seeing the effects. I believe that India, they actually caught it. And it set off, actually, people who have home weather systems, their lightning detectors probably went off.
Really?
But this thing was powerful. It was powerful. It was the biggest one they have observed so far. It was, I believe it lasted 828 seconds or something like that.
Wow.
Somewhere around that thing. So yeah, it did affect the upper atmospheres, coming down to the lowest, and it caused some mass differences in the atmosphere. So, but we were blessed that it was far enough away that it did not, swipe us or just knock part of our atmosphere off. The problem is there are, they detect these things, Pastor Paul, at least a few times per day.
No, I didn't know that.
A few times per day. Normally they're alerted by neutrino detectors, which are buried. These are laboratories deep into the earth. And of course, this one was pretty powerful. And it somewhat caught everybody off guard. I believe that's why they wrote the article in the first place. It caught everybody off guard. So it disturbed our atmosphere for about, I believe it was 6.5, 2 hours or something like that. So yeah, there's a lot of energy from that.
Was there a lot of UV rays that come with that? I mean,
Well,
radiation.
because it's so far away, you're dealing with radiation on a pretty big spectrum, right? So it's a lot of gamma, obviously, but everywhere within that wavelength range, you're going to have energy emissions, that will affect things. And of course, they have satellites that detect that, and things inside the Earth, and the ionosphere is it's actually picking up density by itself anyway, well, from incoming galactic cosmic rays. So yeah, it was a doozy. It was the biggest one they ever observed, but it's not going to be the biggest. It by no means it's not going to be the biggest. They suspect that the Earth has. Now, this is the biggest one they have observed.
Right, ever.
That's a very important term, which means there have been some they have not observed that have caused catastrophic damage to the Earth.
Really?
Right?
Really?
And so, yeah, one of the things to note here is these things, they're happening all the time, right? There's no indicator that's going to tell us we're going to get hit by another catastrophic one that will do. If we, for example, if we get hit by one, say it was a bit closer, right? And there's an effective field range for that. But if we got hit closer, whatever side of the Earth it would have hit, and we're talking about 2/3 of the Earth, it would have fried 2/3 of the Earth. It would have burnt the entire surface of the Earth.
Whoa!
It would have affected the sun in a massive way, right? Because sometimes stars are totally they are sent in this hyper mode, right? When they come in line with these things, and it could have damaged everything in its path. So, but it was far enough away that the energy had dissipated over millions of years before it hit us. Now, that means this thing actually happened long time ago, right?
2 billion.
You're
It
talking
says
about
2 billion.
light years away.
2 billion light years. I don't know what that means.
And that means 2 billion years ago, right?
Yeah.
This thing went on.
Yeah.
Their estimation. That's an estimation.
Right.
There's no way they can be sure. That's an estimation.
Right.
But you're looking at power dissipation that's just a lot of power gone.
Did it affect the sun? Did it affect the sun, Mike?
They will all, if it affects our ionosphere, you better believe it affected the sun. You better believe that. So don't be surprised if within, was it 14 hours or something like that, whatever, there's a process of helium and hydrogen within the sun. It'll go through a smaller process. Don't be surprised if we have some very different solar activity from this. But here's the problem. Just like a gamma, just like a magnetar, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which is a star killer. It's very difficult to tell if one is close enough to have gotten you. They're already scared of a magnetar they know about that's going to give us a blow in 2020.
Are they afraid of black holes from this, or no?
No, if they hit us, passball is going to knock our atmosphere off. Nobody's going to breathe. Everything will burn up and boil.
Yeah.
Right?
We're
Everything
done.
will boil and burn up,
Yeah.
or at least big parts of the planet. We've had 4 vitrification events on this planet, which means the topsoils were turned into glass 4 different times on this planet. Not just one time. Most people find the glass in the Middle East or something like that near India, and they say, well, this happened millions of years ago. No, there are 4 episodes of this, 4 episodes, and so we just never know. It could fry an entire country and leave everything else alone. It just depends on what angle the Earth is at during the time, what angle this thing, the rays were coming out of us, coming at us at.
Could it now? Let me ask you a question. We've got this Sunday night. Sunday we had a rogue tsunami. It was about 3 foot, 4 foot tall. It crashed into Laguna, Brazil. There was no earthquake. I mean, and not that we know of. Was there a volcanic eruption or something happened?
Perhaps we have a severe problem right now.
Okay.
It's a severe problem. First of all, Iceland, right, is
Yeah.
not the place. You don't want Iceland to have an eruption. Everybody should remember last time it erupted and how many scientists actually covered it. Everybody should remember that. Everybody should remember uh, some of the documentaries or whatever they were playing
I don't know if you can.
associated with Iceland.
I don't know if you can see this picture if it's too much delay.
I
But
don't have eyes. I don't have
okay,
eyes right now, Pastor Paul. I'm kind of.
I have a picture. It says, "What's going on with the volcanic eruption in Iceland?" And okay, you have the city of Grandavik, 4,000 people. They've been evacuated, and right here it's showing you the street is just broken. I mean, it's not just broke. There's a rip that comes through here, and it leaves the asphalt 3-foot difference in height from the crack, and this thing went 9 miles. It split hills. They're having hundreds of earthquakes every night.
Yeah, that's not even begun yet. We have a major problem, Pastor Paul.
Okay.
Iceland sits on the two tectonic plates, right? It sits on the plate boundary, North American plate boundary, Eurasian plate. The two fracture zones involved in this indicate, because you're looking at a massive hole. You might as well say a hole in the earth right underneath Iceland going into the Atlantic. Remember, there's a crack in the Atlantic.
Yes.
Right.
You've been
and
saying
I can tell you
that,
right
yes.
now, that crack in the Atlantic is the beginning of the end. Nobody's going to close it. It's not going to close. It's still just shooting out nickel and everything else. A brand new continent is about to rise out of the Atlantic Ocean. It's going to happen expediently. So we're in bad shape. But these plate boundaries, right? They're having these huge plate shifts underneath them in the oceans. Now, right now, the ocean water kind of cushions the blows that normally wouldn't be, would be catastrophic
Right.
up top. But the problem is you're dealing with magma that has built up too much. It's never built up this much. Never. There are, if Yellowstone is an example, think of about 98 Yellowstones stacked on top of each other. That's what you're dealing with Iceland.
What?
Okay?
No, Mike.
That's what you're dealing
whoa,
with. That's the best.
whoa.
That's about the best example I can give, right? But they're constantly being fed magma, and now that 2 breaches have been detected, the heat patterns are totally different. They're different now, and the magma flow is now channeling up in different places. So even today, just a little bit ago, there were land swells out there. When it goes, Pastor Paul, I'll tell you something about Iceland.
Okay.
Iceland starts to go. If it starts to go, that means that the Earth has weakened in these where there was, lots of rock, mountain-sized divisions between magma chambers. They're gone. They're eaten away in 1 month. They were eaten away. In fact, the estimation is what will be the I believe they said half the size of Australia. If we had a mountain half the size of Australia, magma ate through that in 1 month, right? It's gone. It's molten, and it's losing its structure underneath Iceland.
So you're saying magma is rising so fast it's eating away at the depth
everything
of the
everything
beyond the crust. I mean, it's working its way to the top, right?
Yeah, everything is eating through everything. Now remember, you're dealing with a bunch of Yellowstones stacked on top of each other, right? Going down to pure magma, going down to the mantle, right? In that one place, you're looking at two plates that are constantly active in that that region. Anyway, I mean, right there in Iceland is divided with of course the Eurasian and American plates, and they're constantly moving. Well, guess what? They're going to be moving twice as fast, right? You're talking about a place that's moving at what? It grows. Iceland grows 10 centimeters per year, or something like that. It grows.
Well,
or 8 centimeters per year.
Okay, now
so imagine
They have a
If that
report. They have a report that Iceland just sunk 3 feet, over 3.5 feet
because there's
yesterday,
no
one day.
structure. There's no structure underneath. The magma's eating the rock and everything else underneath it, right?
Yeah.
But Iceland's only an indicator as to what's happening all the way down. People ought to go ahead and look at their maps and go from all the way from Iceland, right, down to past South America. Past South America. That's going to be your incident origin for quite a few things that are happening within the next. You're looking at, well, an eruption is imminent. Right now it's imminent, but there are more eruptions that have taken place underneath the oceans, right? Severe uh, movement is taking place. And Iceland is the worst place on Earth that you want an eruption from, right? It was one of the places back in the past where something called a black volcano did erupt, putting these glass spiderweb looking things all over the face of the earth, right? That actually happened. It has enough material to eject that stuff all over the earth again. It has enough material to put us in a ash environment for at least I believe it's 12 years is the estimation, because once it begins, if it just doesn't have a blowout and collapse where it just stops, I don't think it's going to do that.
So
I
you
think we're going to
talked
have
about
3 to 4 episodes in Iceland.
Yeah,
So
you've
if it
talked
erupts,
about an ash environment where is a time coming when people have to wear a mask. Is this
too many
what's
volcanoes will be erupting. Yeah,
Yeah,
and this
yeah.
is going to be a good example of it. It'll
Okay.
be a good example.
Okay.
I think this is going to cause us some global issues, but we're not just talking about ash. We're talking about magma and some very significant earthquakes due to the Atlantic Ocean and the crack in it responding. That crack in Iceland, the land shifts in Iceland. The same thing is happening in the Atlantic Ocean all the way down the line. The exact same thing is happening. All right, the ground is sinking by 50, 60 feet in certain areas. Nickel is coming out of the Atlantic Ocean. Lots of nickel and rock. Lots of nickel though. All sorts of things are happening. So we have a very active, right? Very active volcanism event taking place right now, and it's going to become a pretty bad event. But here's the other thing: it's drying up. This same magma, right? That's flowing all around the Earth is drying up water quickly. As of October 1st, there are, I believe, 30 states in trouble with water. They're going to have to issue reports. Um, Municipalities are going to have to issue reports to people. There have been a lot of counties that have run out of water in the month of November now, November, and
Okay. Now
ironically,
this isn't from drought,
well,
is
that's
it?
from magma.
It's from
That's magma.
magma. It's magma.
Magma. You go down in the if you go down into the soil, right? You go down about 50 feet, it seems normal. You go down another 100 feet, seems normal. You start going down from there, and it starts getting very hot, extremely hot. Um, a type of insulation and shielding effect is taking place. Water is disappearing at an alarming rate. I mean, it's alarming. It really is alarming. I said they're going to issue reports. They're going to have no choice but to issue reports in many different counties, probably right around Christmas, unfortunately. Um, that's when they'll start issuing reports. I know that a lot of places on the East Coast have already begun, right? Already begun. So everybody ought to get ready for boiled water advisories. Um,
Really?
some places will have no water whatsoever. They're going to have to, you're going to have certain counties getting together, sharing water, pumping water from one place to another. It's inevitable. It's happening. It's happening right now. And not only that, but the fire situation,
Yeah.
actual wildfires are starting to kick up all over the place, right?
Yep.
Despite the rain, despite the moisture, there's a dryness that is just unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
So the water is obviously God set this planet up so there would be this perfect cycle of evaporation and rain, participation and evaporation and precipitation, and to keep it flowing. But if magma moves and heats and dries stuff out quicker,
That's right.
and then
That's right.
and then as our atmosphere is being messed with, our jet streams are changing, our planet's not rotating right, we're off kilter on our axis. And there's a lot of things involved here. I mean, so it's like an apocalyptic scenario is developing. Is that correct?
Right, and just like a match, right? You can strike a match, nothing happens. Once you strike it and it hits, it sparks at a certain temperature, right? The whole match lights. Right now, everybody is handling the situation. Fastball is going to continue, and as it continues, it's going to hit that critical point to where there will be no water at all. Right. Right now, the atmosphere is capable of handling twice the amount of water. It carries twice the amount of water it did just 6 years ago.
That's
right?
crazy.
Twice the amount.
Why?
And that amount, but we're still having droughts. Part of that is because of you have particulates being introduced into the upper atmosphere, right, which lowers, say, the tops of cumulonimbus clouds.
Pushes
you
them
also
down.
You have more evaporation coming from the surface, right?
Okay.
Which goes up into the clouds. Now, because they're compressed, they have the ability to sustain more and more water. Why? Because the particulate count is heavy, which means it's going to have all the heavy dust is going to be pushed down to a lower layer, right?
Yep.
So the rain actually, or the vapors can actually they can
they hang up in the clouds longer.
coalesce. They can coalesce at a lower altitude, right, with a different temperature. So now you have this event happening, but the salt water, right, now is starting to fall inland.
That's not good.
The water in the ground is starting to evaporate, is starting to go away.
That's not good.
Because of magma, right? So we're having saltwater intrusion,
yeah,
but from some of the contamination from the rain, right?
So I'm getting it. So the atmosphere is pushing down, which is causing the clouds to be lower, which means the clouds can now hold more water as the evaporation. So now we got more water hanging up in the clouds than we supposed to have.
That's right.
And we got the magma rising, heating things up, and dissipating the moisture quicker. We got more up here, less down here, because of the atmospheric compression, the particulates and the particles and the things that are falling. And then you got to throw in
pretty heavy up there.
Yeah, then you throw the radiation in there, and the next thing you know, and we got 8 billion people here, and we got to send water here.
Well, that's another problem.
Okay.
8.3 billion people.
What?
Right?
Okay.
8.3 billion. But here's the problem. By 2029, now they're going to fight this. Guys, I want you guys to know they're listening right now. They're going to fight this. But by 2029, there are going to be 10.1 billion people on the earth past the point.
Whoa! By when? By when?
It's 2029. You cannot feed 10.1 billion people. You can't do that. We can't sustain 10.1 billion people. We could if there were no violent people on the earth, if there was no crime on the earth, if there were no, people on fentanyl on the earth, right? You can't do that. And so it's not going to work.
Mike,
they already know it's not going to work. You know what they're going to do.
You just went from 8.3 to 10.1 in 6 years. That is almost 2 billion people. That is a massive amount of people to
because
add.
they know this. Because they know the census data is not correct. It is grossly underestimated.
They're lying to us, aren't they?
That's why. And so we have a bad problem. They know we have a bad problem. Listen, they have a declaration too. Before it hits I believe it's something like 8.5 billion people. They're going to make that correction. That means a lot of people are going to,
die.
Something's going to, Pastor, I'm telling you right now, they're not going to tolerate all those people. They can't do it on the earth. They can't do it. If all those people were on the earth, right, poverty would shoot through the roof.
Yeah.
It's going to go through the roof.
Yeah.
Now, we do have AI, and some of the advantages of AI is that it does management, and the cheaters can't really do what they do, but it's only a matter of time before hackers master the art of AI. They're doing it already. Oh, that's another story all to itself. But there are a lot of plans that are being implemented right now. They only have a max of 7 years. You know that, don't you? And
Yeah.
they've already started. That means now I'm gonna have to say this hypothetically. If
Okay.
they're going to start any plans of correction, they have to do it yesterday. They have to do it. They only have 7 years to do it.
So
And
you're
if you
saying
factor in
is,
the
are you saying that in the next 7 years or next 6 years we got till 2030, they can't let this population go from 8.3 to
no,
10.1. So they got to implement some changes or release some things on the earth that create sickness and death and wars or whatever.
whatever they do, the presidential mandate, the little book they give every single president that has a small little note in there to decrease the population, to keep the population uh, to a certain level. Well, maybe people didn't know that was in there, but
No.
it's in there. It's given to every single president. To accept that office, you have to accept certain mandates. And there's a mandate that you cannot let the populace go over a certain amount of individuals.
So what
So
do
you
you,
have to play
Mike?
ball with those who do
Well, Mike,
that.
what do you see as the ways to control a population to prevent 2 billion people?
Further, well, war is one,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
War is one way to do it. Conflict, right? Um, Accidents, but the common things are not going to work. But what I'm telling you is that there are mechanisms in place already that run on a continuous basis, and they're not working. They're not working.
Oh,
So
they
the
can't
next step,
stop the population growth.
the next step is to begin to do something by way of,
Something
we're
more
going to see a big
drastic.
decrease in childbirth, a huge decrease in childbirth. So expect much more death than usual. Expect that, right? But also expect the quality of life to go higher and higher. There's going to be a boom in the quality of life because of AI, right? I can't tell you
Okay.
why I know this, but let's
So
just
you're saying people
everything that people know is about to change.
so
It's
people
going
are
to
going to
change.
live longer, but more people are going to die.
Yeah, they can't sustain this many people. You
Yeah.
know, everybody has their idea about the Georgia Guidestones, right?
Right.
the
Right. Right.
truth the truth about the Georgia Guidestones, it'll come out. And it was when they destroyed the Georgia Guidestones, right? Actually, it coincides with some of the anarchy that's taking place right now. The Georgia Guidestones pointed to a specific celestial object, and that object is no longer there, right? So when that object shifts, it just simply indicates that we're in a different time, right? We're in a different era, period. The new era has begun. It was always said that the people would not know the new era due to confusion and control of information. People don't exactly, like sound doctrine anymore.
No.
They like
No.
the fanciful things.
Right.
But when they destroyed that, it's because it was telling everybody something right there in the Georgia Guidestones. Right? Notice they never implemented. As long as the Georgia Guidestones have been there, nobody implemented the plan in the Georgia Guidestones,
No.
did they?
No. Nobody
Because
did.
it was a warning. It was a warning. It was a warning of what would
Okay.
be, right? It was a warning to the people of what would be. And a lot of people had missed that. And because they never did anything on the Georgia Guidestones, not one thing. And it was tracking a celestial object all this time. Well, we're out of position now. You know, things are different. The average person can tell the sun is very different. It's rising different. It's arcing different. Everything is different. Only those with manual sundials, who started that sundial back in 2002, 3, 4, and 5, they can tell something is not quite right during certain times of the day. It's not all the time,
Well, that's kind of a
but
pole
there's a
shift, then, isn't it? Maybe.
well,
Or
we have a lot of shifting. We do. We have a lot of shifting. We also have some solar pole shifting going on too. We're talking about
aha.
axis
Aha.
shifts of the sun, right? Which is going to cause a whiplash effect uh, due to inertia on certain planets that normally go in retro at certain times. All that's going to start to transform.
Wow.
People are still going to live here, but folks, get ready for the conditions on this earth to change and change rapidly. They're going to change rapidly.
You've talked about controlling population through food. You talk about the white trains that are going to be rolling. Food distribution is going to change, and that's going to affect population, I'm sure. It's going to also control and citizen containment. We're hearing about all these things. Let me ask you a question here. There's two questions that are just driving me insane that I got to ask, but they're so far different. So I'll start with this one. All right, we've seen that one of the hostages was found dead. A 66-year-old woman. She took care of kindergarten kids. She was a cook in the kibbutz, and everybody loved her. Her body was found dead today. How many hostages do you believe, Mike, or do you have information?
Not many. I already know what you're going to ask.
Out of the 240, not many are alive?
Not many. Not many. Hamas is not. Listen, they'll talk to you on the phone in a very good tone, very promising tone, right? At the same time, they're ordering people to do the worst things, and you can do it to a human. That's the type of person you're dealing with, right?
I know.
They are not. They're a true serpent, a serpent of violence, of pure violence.
Yeah.
And so you can't. What Israel is doing, I think, what everybody is missing. What Israel is doing is they have to eradicate Hamas. And those who are sympathetic to Hamas, that's exactly what they're going to do. And, the president made his declaration today. I'm sure that declaration has gone out lots of times. They said this war is going to continue until two things happen. Until Hamas is eradicated and a two-state solution is achieved.
Yeah, that's
which
the
means,
key.
Yeah, which means they're going to go forward with some of the other plans for Gaza. That means it will be under Israel's control, but if it's under Israel's control at the time, it's going to be under, some of the people who are affiliated, who can pay for such activities over there in the Middle East. So
is that Saudi Arabia?
Actually going to happen. That's going to happen. Well, that with the ties with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is building a kingdom, a vast kingdom right now. Right? It's there. I think it's there. But to be fair, they've had 39 projects like this that they just left in the desert, right? Just so you know that. It's not the first time they did this. They have spent billions and billions and billions of dollars on projects and just left them, right? They just left them. But this one, they've involved a bit too many people. They're really breaking ground in this. They are ambitious, yes, but they have the money now to do it with.
So
that's what they want to do.
Do you think, Mike, that Israel's going to finish off Hamas? Will the world let them do it? And if
they're
so,
gonna,
is there going to be an agreement signed? Is that where Saudi Arabia comes in and maybe some other nations, and then Israel will get to remain in charge of Gaza? But is there this real push for a two-state, you think, or what's going to happen?
I know it's going to be a two-state solution. I already know it's going to be a two-state solution.
All right.
They're going to have their two-state solution. That's just going to.
It's kind of forced on Israel too, isn't it? I mean,
yes, it will be. They have no. They don't.
Choice
right now. Israel, they don't quite understand. People are people. We all grow, right? And they don't understand. They can directly call upon the living God. They don't quite get that.
I know that. Yeah.
But so they have to depend on. The security and governments around them. So they're going to have it. They're going to have it because the U.S. wants it.
Yep.
Israel does after this. They're going to disarm Israel. They're going to do this. They're going to disarm them. Everything is going to change for Israel.
Huge.
Right? They will disarm them. Israel will never be able to do this again. They'll never be able to conduct combat again.
So in other words, after this is over,
they're going to disarm them.
They'll take away their capability to have this much power.
Yep.
And they'll split the land. They'll create a two-state. Saudi Arabia will be involved for sure. Everybody in the Middle East will get involved.
Better believe it.
Right.
Better
and because Israel doesn't know how to call upon the Lord and fully trust God. They know God. They know that they're following, they're trying to figure out how to follow God. But
they're blinded.
They're blinded. I just read that in the chapter. Right. Okay. And God did it so that Gentiles like me could get saved.
That's right.
So, I'm not
mad. That's what some of these other people don't comprehend that.
No,
I mean, it's in Scripture 1,000 times. It's in Scripture. It's in Daniel.
Yeah.
It's in Daniel. Daniel says that they were, they're going to be purged.
Yeah.
It's a purging. They don't understand God's purging. It's just like us. we didn't come to Christ when everything was good. We
No.
came to Christ when things went real bad.
Yep.
And we stopped wasting time because we found out how serious it was. Well, they're going to have to go, that same correction
Yep.
process is going to be on them too.
Yep.
And so they're going to see it, because then he says, I like Zechariah is one of the favorite ones. It
Yep.
says when time will come to pass, and they'll say, well, who put these holes in your hands?
He'll say,
And
well,
he'll
these
say,
happened to me in the house of a friend.
that's right, in the house of
Yeah.
my friends. Yeah.
Right.
So they didn't even know,
No.
but they were not condemned. They did not know
No.
Christ, and they were not condemned.
That's
So isn't
right.
that beautiful? So
That's-
they didn't know him, but he's going to accept them.
Yes.
Now the Gentiles, well, we have it. It's fully open to us.
We got to get in
But a
this
lot of them
thing.
are choosing against you, the people that are showing who they really are. Right? It'll make you regurgitate. It will. People are the hatred, the serpent in
I've
people is
never
coming
seen
out,
it. I've never seen it like this in my life.
and it's different. This is not normal hatred.
No.
This is Hitler hatred.
Thank you.
Is what this is.
Thank you. And
This
it's
is Hitler hatred.
some of it is coming
Period.
from people who say they're in the church.
Yeah, a lot of it is coming
Oh.
from people. They're sitting there saying that the Jews are the Antichrist, and have they read anything? Did
They
they
haven't
read
read.
anything?
They haven't read
Did they
Romans
read
11.
anything?
I read Romans 11.
How can look? But here's what's so funny. It's real easy.
Yeah.
If the Jews are the Antichrist, how can the Antichrist, right, go through a Holocaust more than, over and over again? They lost their kingdom. That's not what it says about the Antichrist.
No,
it says
it's not in the Bible.
People are choosing the Antichrist. It even says the government's not going to like the person that is in power.
Yep.
They won't give him the honor of the kingdom, but the people are going to love this guy.
Yep, because
right?
he's going to
They're not
feed
going to
them.
hate this guy. That's right. They're going to hate him. They're going to love him. And he comes up from a small people, and he's against the prince of the covenant.
Yeah,
right.
he
So
is.
the prince of the covenant is a prince of of Jerusalem and of Israel and of the Jews.
Yep.
You can't separate the two.
No.
I hear a lot of people too. They say, well, separate Israel from Jews. You can't do that.
You can't.
Didn't they read the book of Joel that God
No.
will look down and have pity?
No.
It said he'll remember his land
He'll bring
and have
he'll
pity
bring
the people.
He'll bring the
So,
whole world to the valley of
his covenant
Jehoshaphat.
place.
He said, "I'll bring the
What-
whole world to
what
the
are they
valley of
reading?
Jehoshaphat, and I'll plead
Yeah,
for
what are
my
they
people."
reading?
I don't
What
know
are
what they're
they
reading.
reading?
They're not reading. That's what it is. You
What
and
are
I
they-
have read the Bible. We know it. We know it, and we rightly divide it. And it drives me. But we have to keep talking about it because thousands
Yeah,
of
we do.
people, Mike,
Yeah.
70, 80,000 people will watch this show in the next week. And they need to hear this
Yeah.
so that they can go back and start looking again and say, wow, I got to take a look at this again. All right, I'm going to ask you something else. This is driving me insane, but I have to ask it. There's been 3 or 4 reports, and I don't know what to do with this. But I remember you a long time ago telling me that, well, Paul, what are you going to do when there's a mothership that goes over top and it's a mile wide?
Yeah.
You remember that? All right, there's been 3 or 4 different reports coming from different angles from within the government that a mothership has been spotted, that it is nearly a mile wide. When I heard this, I said, I got to ask Mike. I let a lot of stuff go, but I got to ask Mike. Mike, is there anything to this, or are they blowing off steam?
Yeah, we're gonna have no. We're gonna have to deal with that element, but we're also gonna have to take it out of the realm of fantasy and really get down to the brass tacks of
Okay.
what people are facing, Pastor Paul, because humanity is different now, right? And the representatives of humanity are few, right? There's actually a remnant now. A lot of people who love the Lord, they know something has changed. They know the kid. Let's talk about the children. A lot of the children are different now, right? They're different.
Okay.
They're almost like husks. It's almost like there's many of them are empty. They're ready to accept things. They tack on the ideologies, right? Just like this trend of all these kids who were sympathetic to Osama bin Laden, right? There's something wrong with that. How can you be sympathetic to a guy you're finding out what he did, this, that, and the other, but you're sympathetic? So in other words, they have no regard for their own house. That is not a godly value. A godly value is family. But if you deny family, there's another seed involved. And Pastor Paul, believe it or not, that other seed has been quite invasive for a very long time now. And that seed has rooted itself, and it's all over the world in a very different way. And it's, when it fully comes out, it's going to be too late. It's just going to be too late, because most of these kids now that I'm talking about, they are in they're about 25 or 26 years old right now. And that means they're coming into the place where they can take over things. They have, you might as well say half these kids have an IQ of, it seems like they have an IQ of 400, right? That's totally off the scales. But many of them are wicked to the core. They have a different value system. They have no regard for Christ at all. Many of them have not heard of that name. Now, when you approach a person and they have not heard of Christ, something is deeply wrong, right? Deeply wrong, because they're just not normal. These ships and things that have been flying around, people they ought to go ahead. A lot of, I'd say 90% of those things are ours. I would, right? All people have to do is check the patent office. Or 5 systems that were put in the patent office back in the 60s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. And all those systems are functional, right? The U.S. Navy, those are U.S. Navy patents. And it just
Wow.
so happens that those systems do the exact same thing as many of the physical craft that a lot of people see, right? So anti-gravity, cavity bubbles, um, to actually swim through the atmosphere, right? It's not like a plane where you have airfoils and you have to have lift. No, they're not doing that. They're swimming through energy, essentially, right? So then everything in front of it becomes loose energy, you could say, and it's redirected to the back. So they just kind of flow through it. And that seems supernatural, but it is not. It's not. It's just some sort of plasma transportation, but that means they can go through water and displace the structure of the water, that they won't affect the water, right? So it looks like magic, but it's not magic. It's
Really?
not. It's not magic. It's a process. It's a patented process. I know a lot of people think they're using mercury. They're using gallium. Lots of gallium
Who's
is
doing
being used
this?
for that.
Who's ma-
That's U.S. Navy stuff, right?
Okay,
That's the
okay,
part of the
okay,
military-industrial complex.
okay,
These are Navy patents, by the way, right?
okay.
Navy patents. Another example, Pastor Paul. A lot of people, they get these visitations. Um, Here's what you really check for. This is real evidence. The real evidence is when you have a doorknob that crumbles in your hand. The real evidence is when you have windows that seem like they're 3, 4, 500 years old, but it's a brand new house. In other words, there's a time differential to everything being touched, and often there are objects that are left around that age 2, 3, 400 years. Right. So when you fool with matter shifting, right, redirecting or sliding through matter, you're also messing with time. Time is for us. Time is not for the Father. Time is another constant here on this earth. It just doesn't affect anything else. It affects us in our perspective. That's all. Time is like an elevator, right? That we stay in. Can you get outside of time? Sure, you can. You can. You can go right outside of time. Uh,
Time
I'm
time
not talking
dilate
about
time
not talking
dilation.
about time travel. I'm just talking about affecting time, where nothing has a real constant. Nothing has a real, a slow process or fast process. It just is or it is not. And when you start tampering with the higher voltages, when you start tampering with the higher temperatures, right? For example, if you bring certain liquid metals that you can order offline near absolute zero, all the properties of that metal change. They become hyperconductive of electricity. You can turn it with a straw and it will never stop turning. Never, ever, ever, right? It'll never do that. So long as it's near absolute zero, it never stops turning. It's very simple. People can do that with a beaker. You don't need to make a superconductor. See, this is the way they misdirect a lot of people. And a lot but only the people who make money are talking about superconductors, not the folks who have actually gotten the award for the patent, not the Navy, not the Army, not the Space Command. They have
Superconductors.
filed something else. Well, that's what they want people to believe,
Okay.
that you have to do this through a process and you have to utilize superconductors and bring them near absolute zero so you can have them float or repel some sort of magnetic field, and that's all you get. That's wrong. That's wrong, because you can buy the metal at Amazon, at Walmart, in a science kit. You can bring that near absolute zero, and when you turn that with a straw, you can't stop it. It's going to keep going so long as it's near absolute zero. If you pop it in one direction, it's going to keep going so long as it's at absolute zero, right? If you start drawing, if you push current through it, here's a wonderful thing. If you take use it as a wire and it's near absolute zero, and you take the battery away, it's still trying to shoot out electrons. It'll suck in electrons from everywhere, right? And still act as that wire without a power source. That means you have unlimited electricity so long as it stays
Is
near
this
absolute
Tesla?
zero.
I mean, is this Tesla technology?
No, no, no,
Zero.
no.
This ain't new. You're not talking about.
Well, you could say it's near it. It's near it, right?
Yeah.
But it's. I'm telling you, Pastor Paul, they do a lot of misdirects, and we've hit a time now where people are going to break loose. People, just what I just said, because people can do that at home. They can do that at home. I wouldn't recommend it, because if you bring something near absolute zero, that's minus 400 and what 54 degrees plus. That, you know, that could be that could hurt, right? Of course,
Well,
you'd only
yeah.
spend $30 to do it, really. But this is what they don't want people to know, so they
No.
complicate this. They complicate things. They put the wrong things in the public, and they have these important people only talk about specific subjects, so that people grow up learning you cannot do this and cannot do that and cannot do this. They do that to cause a big barrier between those who run these uh, complexes or advanced scientific systems, and keep them separated from everybody else. They do not want the average person sitting in their home, uh, you know, outpacing them in technology, because there's some pretty smart people out there.
Yeah.
And they don't want that. That's forbidden. That's what causes classification. When anything is going to breach that big gap between public and these people over here who don't want anybody to know what they're doing.
All right.
That's where you have lifetime secrecy. That's where you have intellectual property issues with the federal government, and they're not going to allow
Well,
anybody to
it
breach
seems like
that.
the government,
You know,
when,
that gap.
when in technology, it seems like the government's always 30, 40, maybe 50 years ahead of us. In about
Yeah, they are.
you know.
But even that, even past ball, even that, the YF-22 Raptor, right? They have more than 3 models of the same craft. Now, the world has only seen one model.
Okay.
I can assure you that there are models, right? You cannot be just the average person to fly that aircraft,
No.
right? Because it's going to plug into you neurologically. Right? This is what the certain
That's
parts of the Air Force
incredible.
did, right? So you're talking about they have something called SWIFT maneuvers on that thing. Um,
Well,
and it
this
has
is
to employ high technology, because you
yeah.
have inertia dampers. You have to use anything at high speed like that. You have to dampen the body. They have a different pressure
Yeah, because you
suit.
couldn't handle the
You're
the
not
speed.
controlling it. That's right. You're not controlling it with your hands or muscle control, because you can't trust that. So you have to plug in neurologically. Now, some people know about this because the pain is poison and they've been hurt by this stuff. But yeah, they have some advanced things, but most of that stuff out there is ours. There's a small percentage of these craft that are not craft at all. They're not.
Well, is that what the
They're only manifestations of other things, right?
Okay,
They can show up as anything, Pastor Paul. Anything.
maybe what you're talking about here is that what the Pentagon said. They said, "Look, there's somebody in our backyard. Whether it's either aliens or somebody, but they're in our backyard."
Yes, they've confirmed that.
Now,
They've
okay,
also
what
confirmed
in the
that.
world does that mean? I mean,
Well,
it's
that
we
just
don't know what
simply
it
means,
is.
right? They're aware of their presence, right?
Okay.
That's what it means. This is what they acknowledge. They're aware of their presence. They know what they are, but they're aware of their presence. And there's nothing we can learn from them, because they can manifest 1,000 different ways, right? They're not going to just freely give their stuff over to them. Now, anybody who speaks well of any ET, take note. They will always. By the way, what idiot would travel millions of miles to come to Earth, right? Only to tell you that Jesus is one of them.
No,
Who would do that?
that's not. That's
Why is that
ridiculous.
what they do?
That's
Isn't that what they
ridiculous.
do?
Yeah.
That right. They do the same thing as these cults do.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They fly all that way to tell you that Jesus was one of them. That's it. You mean to tell me that's why they fly millions of miles to give that message? Really? No, that's not what they're doing. They've been here. They don't come from out there. They're right here.
Yeah.
And people deal with them. The same people are the same things they see out in space are dealing with mentally. Okay, one thing. I'm going to leave everybody with this, Pascal, because I got a motor mouth. Here it is. You ready?
I'm ready.
When Satan is bound 1,000 years,
Yep.
there's peace on earth for 1,000 years.
That's right.
Okay, but when he's loosed again,
Not good.
he deceives the four quarters of the earth. So here it is. Without Satan, no one is evil, right?
Right.
There's an influence on this earth that's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Without that influence, there would be no evil people. They would have no desire to do anything evil. Nobody would do anything evil. Right now, people have, there's a force that's growing, and God put the Christians in the way to undo the works of that evil, right?
Yep.
But that evil is growing, it's getting stronger. Not one Christian should allow that evil, that violence, the threats, what you went through in your past. Don't let that scare you, because take note, it was before you truly gave your life to Christ that you were touched by darkness, not after. Not after.
Do you think
It was before.
Okay, somebody just asked a question in the chat room. Why does he release him again? I've asked that question a million times. Okay, you got him bound for 1,000 years, then you let him out for a little season.
I do have
You got a theory
I have
on
an
that?
idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I have an idea.
Okay.
And this idea, ironically, since I was a kid. All right.
Okay.
Here's the idea. There are a lot of people, evil often does not know it's evil, right? Some people fight for good causes they believe is good,
Okay.
only to find out it is not good. A lot of us, we did things we thought were noble to find out they were not noble. God is a just God. All those people, right, who really were under the guise of something else, right? God's going to show them what they could not have faith to believe. They're going to live amongst it, right? They're going to witness a great many things.
Okay.
Now, if a person witnesses Christ and his salvation, the Feast of Tabernacles, and they feel the goodness of the Lord, they see the goodness of the Lord, they see the product of righteousness and everything else, and they still choose or can be manipulated by Satan, then Satan was their true family. How do I know this? Because Christ said, when they get before him, he's going to say something. And this tells the whole story. Some he'll say, well done, my good and faithful servant. To others, he's going to say, depart from me, you worker of iniquity. Here it is. I never
Yes,
knew you.
that's right.
Now, if he never knew them, then they were never one of his. They were, in fact, one of those seeds of old, twice
okay.
plucked up by the roots, clouds without water.
Okay.
And he said they will always be in our feast of charity.
Yes.
That means they were a true tear, and they were trying their hardest to be like everybody else, but they could not maintain it. They did not like Christ, right? And it was finally shown what they were. Because if we all started with the Father, if everybody saw God, not one soul would be evil, right? None of us would be that dumb. We wouldn't be that dumb.
No, we wouldn't.
Right?
No.
Demons are frightened of hell.
Yes.
If a human knew what hell was, not one person would be evil and go to hell out of fear. God doesn't want us to follow him because we're frightened of him. He doesn't want us to not go to hell because we're frightened of it. He wants us to be family. And so the only way to choose family is by not showing them anything to let that person choose. Because when a kid says,
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to my dad because I love my dad. Okay, that's true love.
Amen.
That's what a parent loves. But if a kid comes to you and says, Dad, I'm not listening to you, I'm going to go listen to the neighbor's advice, right?
Yeah.
Then you're ready to, that just hurts you to the core. Well, the only way to find that out is to give somebody absolute freedom. You present to them darkness and light, you let them choose. And over time, through this process, people become what they are choosing the most. And God's not cruel. A lot of people say he's cruel. No, he isn't. He said he would destroy iniquity when it comes back.
Yep.
But if a person chooses iniquity over and over again, then guess what? There's no light left when he destroys the iniquity out of them. See?
Yeah. You
But
went too far.
if you're, that's right. There's nothing left of the person.
Yep.
There's nothing intact. And so they go that they were heavily influenced by who because they were part of him, right? God does this on purpose because he does everything justly. Everything is an equal balance of
He is
darkness and
fair.
light,
He's a
and we
righteous
simply
God.
choose. Right.
He's
That's why I
he.
said, "Choose ye this day whom ye will serve." So then we're presented
Yes,
with
sir.
an equal balance of
Amen.
darkness and light. Yeah.
You're a servant to whom you obey. Choose this day whom you'll serve, and He puts good and evil before you. Choose this day.
Yeah. Yeah. He sure
We're
does.
going. We go back to the garden all the time. God says to Adam and Eve, or He says to Adam, says, "Look, here's you have anything you want. Dress the garden. You're in control. I'll give you dominion. Just don't eat of that
Yeah.
one tree of knowledge of good
Yeah.
and evil." We have a tendency. I remember when I was a kid, my dad used to. He worked hard, and he would come home, and he had this rotor tiller, and he had a half a acre garden, which was huge. But we had 5 kids in the family, and he would work all day and come out, and then he would be out there in that garden. Well, he would have this tiller, and he would be out there all evening, and he came in, and as he came in, he was shutting it off. There was an exhaust on the side. I saw this exhaust thing, and I was about 8 or 9 years old. I thought, he always told me, he said, "Don't touch that. Whatever you do, don't touch it. That's hot." One day he came in, I thought, yeah, and I put my hand on that exhaust, and literally
Yep.
scalded me.
Yep. Yep.
I'm like, why did I do
Yeah.
that? He told me, but I had to
Yeah.
touch it. I had to do it, only to
Yeah.
find out that it burned bad.
And he told you out of love.
He
It
did.
may have sounded like fussing, just like the Lord said, "Do not steal, don't commit adultery." Right? That's a plea.
Yep.
That's a father telling his
So I
children,
run in
"Hey,
the
if you
house.
do this, you're
My
gonna
hands
die."
on fire. My mom says, "Oh, come here, son," and she puts ice on it for a while, and then she puts some of this
Yeah.
what do you call that? Avera salve, from the Avera
Yeah.
plant. She had
Yeah.
some, and she said, "Now what you need to do is just go to bed and lay down." And she gave me a couple of
I know
aspirins.
you never.
I
You
never
didn't touch
touched.
that again.
No, never again.
You didn't
Why
touch
don't
that
we?
again.
Why don't
But
we?
but that's how we. That's part of the process, and no wonder we can be forgiven. No wonder God sent us. He decided to send His Son at the beginning of time because He was going to assure that we get through this process. And those people who are let loose that follow Satan, instantly follow Satan. They're also instantly judged, right?
Yeah.
They're done for. But He is a just God. They enjoyed their 1,000 years of peace. Clearly,
Amen.
they were among supernatural things. They could see it, and they still chose Satan. So no one's going to have an excuse in the end.
No,
They're
we
going to know
won't.
exactly who they are. There'll be no denial. There'll be no, "Well, I didn't know. I
No,
didn't
we're
this."
going to get a fair
So
shot at this all the way.
yeah,
Let me
yeah.
ask you one last question, Mike, before you go. And as people are still asking me and been asking me for some time to ask you, we know there's going to be a water event in Arizona. Couldn't you? There's some people who live in Arizona. Okay, quite a few people watch us from Arizona, and so they're saying, "What does that? Can Mike help us understand? What does that mean? Should I be moving, or what does it mean? Can you help us, Mike?"
Well, a water event is a sudden shift or rise in the water, right? Now, I mentioned Arizona, they're a good example. They're going to have a tiny one, which means they're pretty dry, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to, a lot of people, they'll say water event. Well, it's probably not going to be one of those. But if they saw Arizona with too much water in it all over the place, they would change their minds, right?
Yeah.
A small example of what is to come, and that will come for Arizona. Arizona is going to have a sudden rise in water, right? And that should be enough to inform those who can see and hear that, hey, yeah, this can happen, because when the water event takes place, it's going to be global. Now, it won't destroy all the earth, right? But it's going to rise upon
I
every
hear you.
single coast.
Yeah.
Every single coast. And the bottom line, Pascal, there, it's not going to be just like that tsunami that came out of nowhere, right? The
Yep.
water event's going to be similar. There's not going to be an indicator it's coming. It's just going to suddenly rise up, and there it is, right?
It's not
Now, if
really
I get into the,
not a
huh?
tsunami. It's just water's just going to start rising, right?
That's right.
Okay.
If I get into the details, that will take too long,
Okay.
right?
I got you.
But let's put it this way: that even right now, if certain things happen which are unnoticeable by those, by everybody, if they happened fully, uh, we could have 36 feet of water over all the land masses in less than probably an hour.
I mean, you realize what you just said? Thank God for the rainbow. Thank God that the Lord promised us he wouldn't do 36 feet over all the
See,
land.
you get it. You get it. You
Yeah.
realize it. You realize. But a lot
But
of
you're
people, they
saying,
don't get this.
You're,
They don't get it.
You're saying that
That potential
scientifically
exists right now.
that
Right
exists,
now.
but because of God's promise, it won't happen. But
That's
it
right.
could, but it won't.
That's right.
Because, okay, I got you.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll sleep good tonight. You know, I'm not going to be floating away on the bed. I mean, everything's going to be fine. I'm just not going to. There's some other problems I got to worry about.
Sometimes we just don't know how blessed we are, Pastor Paul. But I tell you, when you do find out, you can't live normal anymore. Yeah.
No,
you just can't.
Thank God for His mercy and His grace and His love for us, because we would be done if it weren't. Mike,
we really would be.
Mike, thank you so much. Can't wait to find out what you and I are going to talk about. We're going to be when we film you for Invasion America.
Oh yeah, it'll be a doozy.
It'll be a doozy, and it always is with you. So I'm gonna get a good night's sleep before I watch this webinar on December 1st. But I look forward to filming that with you, and we'll find out more. So, well, you said 8 days the sun. It's only been 7, so I better keep my eyes open tomorrow. Something might happen with the sun. I don't know. Is it possible?
I still can't understand why everything wants to happen on Thursday. I'm not going to be shocked if things go up, but I tell you what's got. Listen, it's still the fires. That dream of the fires.
Yeah.
And I know about the stone steps and the guy in the coffin, or the person in the coffin, and that's still on. That hadn't gone anywhere.
That ain't gone nowhere.
But the fire, that guy that spoke no words, but was yelling with no sound and pointing, and all the hills were aglow, and that glow got brighter and brighter. That wasn't good. That was not good.
That actually happened in Italy. It actually happened in Italy a couple of days ago. Mount Etna had a volcano eruption, and the whole mountain was on fire.
Yeah, that's
I saw
bad.
the picture.
Yeah,
it was
because
really bad.
in the beginning, past all the dream, it was a small glow. That glow got bigger and bigger. Then I looked around, and every mountain and every hill was on fire.
No.
Everything was on fire. It was on fire. And that guy was warning. I didn't hear anything. His mouth was moving. His finger was pointing. I could see the look in his face. He was deadly. He was trying to get my attention, to get anybody's attention to look. And that stuff had started. It started to burn. And when I looked back around at everything, all those mountains and hills were on fire. And it's just shocking because now the East Coast is having a fire problem. Of all places.
Yeah, that's strange.
I see the West Coast, but not the East Coast.
Not the East, but All right, we'll keep our eyes open. We'll keep our eyes open, and we look forward to talking to you next Thursday, Lord willing. And next Thursday is Thanksgiving. I don't know if you're available or not, so we need to clear that right now.
Well, if you are, I am.
I am. I will be available.
I'll be available too.
Okay. All right.
So we can do that Thursday.
We'll do it next Thursday.
That'll be good. We'll do a Thanksgiving Thursday thing.
Yeah. Okay. I'll see you then, Mike, Lord willing.
All right, Pastor Paul.
All right. Bye-bye.
God bless.
Mike from the world. The guy you can't get this guy to take a day off. I don't care what you do. Why? Because he's like me, I guess. We ain't got time. Really, we got to kind of space it out and figure it out. Now, I was even when I take a few days and I'm with family or whatever, I'm still doing videos no matter where I'm at. And they asked me, I said, "Why do you do that?" I said, "Because I have a calling and an urgency that I got to get people lives." Let me put it this way. I had a man say to me, "Well, you're a pastor. You don't have a very important job." And I said, "No, really, you're right. I just have the souls of men in my hand. I'm not sitting there counting beans. I'm not a bean counter. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not an accountant. There's a lot of people with a lot of important jobs. Everybody has something important to do. But I have the souls of men in my hand. People are going to watch me tonight that are going to make a decision that will decide whether they go to heaven or not. You might not think so, but believe me, when 70, 80, 90,000 people watch a video in 1 week, they don't all live till the next week. Souls People's eternities are in my hand at this moment. I can't come up short and not give them that chance, that opportunity to reach out, to touch them somehow, to and we do a lot of things, and I want you to feel good about and have fun, praise God, and talk to Mike. But we come down to the wire here. Somebody may be, this is their final call. This may be your final call. Have you given your life to Jesus? Would you like to? I'd like to help you do it. I'm going to play one song. Please. Do you know where you are right now with God? You can. Just type, I want to be saved. Just type, I want to be saved. I remember the night I first gave my life to Jesus. I was lost and all alone and so undone. There were pieces of me here, pieces of me there, and I was so broken. Then I asked Jesus, can you put me back together again? And I know where I was then, I know where I am now. You came to me and you saved me and turned my life around. And I know where I was then, Lord, and I know where I am now. You know, this walk in life, it's full of many decisions. And we live with each and every one we make. But the best decision I ever made was when I asked the Lord, can you come and heal this broken man that I am? And I know where I was then, I know where I am now. He came to me and you saved me and turned my life around. And I know where I was then, Lord, and I know where I am now. And I know where I was then, I know where I am now. You came to me and you saved me. You turned my life around. And I know where I was then, Lord, and I know where I am now. I know where I was then, Lord, and I know where I am now. Kevin Wilson wrote this song, folks. There are people typing, I want to be saved. I think Kevin Wilson is one of the greatest songwriters of Christian music I've ever heard. Him and really Jeffrey Clarecoper and throw Israel Hall in there too. They are phenomenal. But that song there that Kevin wrote And people are still getting saved. Just keep typing, I want to be saved. I'm going to play one of Kevin's songs himself without me messing it up singing with him. This song right here, I think maybe, I use this all the time. So many people come to Jesus when I'm playing this song. It is one of the most perfect songs I've ever heard, and I so enjoy getting to sing it with Kevin on this album. But let me play one more, because there are people. See, when I said to you, men's souls are in my hands, what I'm trying to tell you is I'm responsible. You know, I think about a surgeon. There's another person getting saved. God bless you, Tony. I'm going to pray with every one of you guys. I think about a surgeon, you know, they put you to sleep and a guy's cutting around on you. Your life is in his hands. And that's important. And that's big. And I don't want to mess around with that because I don't know what I'm doing. The Lord spoke to me one day and said, yeah, but I put souls in your hands. You better know what you're doing. I was thinking about that when you choose I had hernia surgery. And I thought, man, when I want to look that doctor in the eye, I want to make sure he knows what he's doing. And the Lord reminded me, I put souls in your hands. You better know what you're doing. I want to break down and cry right now when I think about that. Thank you, Renee. I appreciate that love. Can I play a song right here? Look, Kevin's got so many great songs. There's a song he did, though. I think it's called Mercy. Let's see. I'll find it. I gotta go find it. Just give me a second. Because there's somebody here right now watching that is so close to being saved, but the devil is trying to destroy you. He has been trying his best. You know he has. He's almost killed you 2 or 3 times. Oh, help me, Jesus. It's mercy. Place to forgive. Kevin Wilson, hang on. I need to get all of his songs and all of my songs and all of formerly Jacob's songs downloaded on this phone so I can just use them whenever I need to. Oh, man, he's got so many good songs. I tell you what I'm going to play. I'm going to play this one. Look, is this you? Is this you in trouble? It's mercy. Oh, what is it? It's mercy. No, here it is. Okay, here it is. He's got one song about A Place to Forgive Me. It was a great song, but no, this one here. It's coming down to only you and me. There's a day coming, if you don't die suddenly, that it's just going to be you. And even if you die suddenly, before you leave your body, it's just you and God. It comes down to just you and God. Where will you be? Tonight you can make sure you know where you're going to be. Kevin Wilson. Only you and me. Listen to this. And type, I want to be saved.
When my life has passed me by like a river flowing, and Lord, it's only you and me. When I've come to the end, yes, the end of this journey, and Lord, it's only you and me. And I wonder, will there be mercy for me when, Lord, it's only you and me. Jesus, the only
Come on, let's get saved tonight.
Of all the seeds I've sown, when Lord, it's only you and me.
Lay it down.
When
folks.
I look upon your face and I see all your glory, and Lord, it's only you and me.
People are coming to Jesus right now, right now.
And I wonder what's his word when he calls out my name. And Lord, it's only you and me. And I wonder, will there be mercy for me?
Christina, we see you. We're going to pray with you.
Lord, it's only you and me.
Tara, you can be saved.
Jesus, the only one that knows of all the seeds I've sown. When Lord, it's only you and me.
God bless you, Shelley.
And I wonder, will there be mercy for me when, Lord, it's only you and me.
An incredible song. Kevin Wilson wrote it, he sung it, and people's lives are changing right now. Oops, I'm so sorry. There we go. I'm going to play, I'm going to pray. Somebody said, could you please pray down to the river to pray? My granddaughter's singing. Sure, I'll play that in just a second. But let me just pray with these folks that want to be saved right now. Karen says, mercy for me. You know, we're saved by grace. It's not of ourself. Daryl, I see you want to be saved. We're saved by grace through faith, not of ourself. It's a gift. It's a gift of God, not of any works we could do. At least any man would try to boast about and how the salvation comes through Jesus because of his blood and his love to us. If you will pray tonight, you might say, Pastor, I don't even know how to get saved. I don't even know what to do to get saved. Just open your heart and just ask God to come into your life right now. Let him come into your heart right now. Right now, I feel God's love. I feel the power of his grace. Let's pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, I don't even know what to say, Lord. I don't know how to say it. I'm just here. I didn't come here to get saved tonight, but man, something got a hold of me. I want to know that my name is in your book of life. And I want to ask you to forgive me. I want to ask you to forgive me and help me. And help me come to you. I ain't got nothing to offer. I don't really have anything to offer. And I got so much baggage, and I got so much sin, and I got so much anger, and I got so many things that just ain't right in my life and in my heart. And I'm ashamed of half of it. But if you will forgive me, if you'll save me, I'd like to live for you. I like to have my name. I like to be a Christian. I want to be a Christian. So I'm just going to call out the name of Jesus and say, forgive me, Lord. Just forgive me. Take me like I am. Here I am. I want to be saved. I want to be saved. I'm going to ask Jesus to come in my heart because I believe. I believe I'm feeling his call. I know I'm not right. I believe that Jesus is the Son of God. I believe he's the Messiah. I feel his love toward me. Something's different about this than anything else in the world. So I'm asking Jesus to come into my life and to save me. I believe, Jesus, you're the Son of God. I believe you died on the cross. I believe you rose from the dead. I believe you ascended to heaven. And I believe you're coming back again. And I want to be ready when you come. I don't want to be left behind. So right here, right now, by faith in God's grace, in the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Holy Ghost, in Jesus' name, I am saved, I'm saved, I'm saved, I'm saved, I'm healed, I'm delivered, I'm set free, I'm born again. I'm saved in Jesus. Saved in Jesus. Saved in Jesus. Precious name. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for saving me, for setting me free, for giving me life, for giving me hope, for giving me joy. I needed to change. Thank you, Lord, for your love. I feel it washing over me. Oh, there was a song I used to sing a long time ago, and I don't even think I can find it. Can I find it? Maybe I can. I don't know. But all right, I'll play this. What was that I was supposed to play? Welcome to the family. Okay. Welcome to the family of God. All right, I'll play my granddaughter, see if I can find her. Down to the river, pray. That's it. Okay. I haven't played this in a while. Praise God. This is on the Journey album. Oh, this is my granddaughter, Lexi Begley. She just turned 19. Oh, no. When she sang this one, she was 14.
With Black Friday appliance savings.
No, we're not going back Black Friday shopping. Here we go.
I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord,
Show me the way.
Oh, sisters, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and I shall wear the robe and crown. Good Lord,
Show me the way.
oh, brothers, let's go down.
Let's go down. Come on down.
Come on, brothers, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and I shall wear the starry crown. Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, fathers, let's go down, come on down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fathers, let's go
Down in the river to pray.
As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and I shall wear the starry crown. Good Lord,
Show me the way.
oh, mothers, let's go down. Don't you wanna go
yeah.
Come on, mothers, let's go down.
Down in the river to pray.
As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and you shall wear the robe and crown, good Lord.
Show me the way.
Oh, sinners, let's go down, let's go down.
Don't you want to go down?
Oh, sinners, let's go down,
Down in the river to pray.
Oh, sinners, let's go down, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sinners, let's go down, down in the river to pray.
Oh, that's on my album, The Journey. Also, you can
You've
get
invested tons of time and money moving freight.
No. Also, you can get Kevin Wilson's music. It's over at my website at paulbegleyprophecy.com. Kevin, of course, we look forward to getting back with him again on the road. Who knows where we'll be singing together or preaching, and he'll be singing, I'll be preaching, wherever it may be. It will happen in 2024, Lord willing. I know we'll have him back in Indiana, and I know we'll have him back here in Florida, and I'm sure we'll be also in 2 or 3 places somewhere else across the country somewhere in the next year coming, 2024. I look forward to it. I really do. He has a great ministry, a great musical ministry. I played a couple of his songs tonight. You just heard that. So you can go to his website. I wish I had it close. You can get my music. Yeah, you can get his or mine at my website, but you can also go to Kevin's website if you want to and be a blessing to him there. All right? Well, guys, tomorrow is another big day if time lasts, and I probably, it's up to the Lord. But for those of you who got saved tonight, I want to say welcome to the family of God. Welcome to the family of God. Your names have been written in the Lamb's Book of Life, and I'd like to see you get baptized. Find a pastor, find a church, somewhere in the community where you live, and tell them you got saved and you want to be baptized, okay? I'll baptize you if you come to Indy. I'm not preaching this Sunday. I made a mistake. I said I was, but I'm not. There's actually a young lady out of Israel. She's a phenomenal artist, and she is going to be performing a concert. What is her name? Oh, my Lord, I should have had that wrote down. She's incredible. Millions of views. She was an IDF soldier, because there you have to be when you turn 18 till you're 21. She was a soldier for a while, and she just got done doing that. So she's in her early 20s, but she is a unbelievable artist in Israel. And she's going to be singing, doing a concert this coming Sunday morning at Freedom Fellowship down here in the Villages. And I'll be there. Heidi and I'll be there, but I won't be preaching. I'll be preaching December the 3rd and December the 10th under the big tent here at the Freedom Fellowship in Florida. I will be preaching, though, Sunday morning, November 26th at my daddy's church in Knox, Indiana. I'll be there Sunday morning at Community Gospel Baptist Church in Knox, Indiana. So Sunday, November 26th, I'll be in Indiana. And then Sunday, December 3rd and Sunday, December 10th, I'll be preaching down here in Florida. And I already have some appointments already lined up for next year. Man, I was trying to take it slower. But no, I've already got a conference I'm going to be in April in Dallas, Texas. I'm going to be in Knoxville, Tennessee on February 4th, preaching at a big church there, a Church of God there in just outside of Knoxville, Tennessee. That's February 4th. I'm going to be doing a television interview in Grand Rapids, Michigan in January. I'm going to be back in Springfield, Missouri in a conference in next year, November 14th. it's just getting started. My book's coming out, of course. It's going to be released April 2nd. I'll be doing a book tour, book signings, television, and different things, and preaching in different places. So I don't know where I'm going to be next year. I was looking forward to just taking some time off and playing some golf, but are you serious? So I'm going to be going to Dallas, so I figure I might as well get my hat out, break it out. I'm going to Tennessee, so I might as well break it out. Guys, I love all of you. Lord willing, I'll see you tomorrow. If you need a Bible, send an email right now to MissZD01@hotmail.com. That's MissZD01@hotmail.com. Request a Bible, I'll send it to you for free. Just tell me who you are, where you live, and let me send it to you. And if somebody's sick, I want to anoint a prayer cloth, pray over it, anoint it, send it to you by faith for you to be healed in Jesus' name. The cloth don't heal you. Jesus does, but we send it to you as our act of faith to meet you with your faith. And the Bible says where two would agree touching any one thing, it shall be done. Now, if you need somebody's very, very ill and we need to get a blanket to them, let us know, okay? We'll send it to them. Pray over it, anoint it with oil. And also, if somebody dies in your family or somebody's in our online church, we send grief packets out. That's what we just, we took care of this sister here. We loved her. We sent her to her family. And we do this all the time. And so we send out these grief packets with our love and special gifts in there, and our love to anyone who loses a family member. All of these things we do for free. I'm going to tell you why we do it. Well, because we've got the ability to do it. God gave us the ability to do it. And I couldn't do it if you didn't help me. So I have to depend. And when God told me to do these things, he said, oh, and by the way, give these things for free. Okay? And I'm like, okay, I'll do it, God. Then I said, okay, God, how am I going to do it? He goes, that's not your problem. Your problem is you to do it. I'll take care of the finances, and here's how I'll do it. I'll talk to your online followers. I'll speak to them. And I'll just ask them. Send Pastor Begley some money. Send it to his ministry so he can take care of the needs of the people. So the gospel could get out. So the television broadcasts get out. So that everything that we do gets taken care of. That's how it happens. Because faithful partners like you. That's how it happens. I just go. It ain't I go to bed. I go to bed tonight. I'm not going to worry because God's already speaking to your heart. Some of you are already going right now to our website to give. Some are going to do it tomorrow. Some are going to do it this Sunday. Some of you are going to do it in the next 5 minutes. I don't worry about it. That's between you and God. You guys, I handle that. I'll do my part, and we'll all make it to heaven together. God bless you guys. I love you. See you tomorrow on the coming apocalypse. Kevin Wilson, good to see you tonight. Renee, real good to see you tonight, too. God bless.